Welcome inside Hamlin Sports Complex for a brand new series. It's the Springfield Drifters hosting the Corvallis Knights. Last series against the Knights for the Drifters wasn't ideal. They were swept in 3 games, but looking to turn a new leaf are the Drifters. They're on a 2-game win streak. They just won a series against the Walla Walla Sweeps. Vibes are high here at Hamlin Sports Complex. It's Babe Ruth night. We got just a whole host of kids here, like so many kids. But Drifters are in familiar territory because if you remember correctly, the Drifters were on a 2-game win streak when they came into Corvallis last week and were promptly swept. So can't let confidence get too high if you're the Drifters, but see what this series has in store for us. It's been hard for the Drifters over the past couple of years to win at home against Corvallis. It's been since June of 2022 since they've done so, even just 1 game. So, alongside Henry Light, I'm Madison Cerezo. Henry, what did you see in the last series? What can the Drifters look to continue doing in order to at least take a game or 2 in this series?
Yeah, it was a kind of...
Alongside Henry Light, I'm Madison Cerezo. Henry, what did you see in the last series? What can the Drifters look to continue doing in order to at least take a game or 2 in this series?
Yeah, it was a kind of return to form for the Drifters in the last series, especially. We were hoping for them to wake up at some...
All right, next up we've got South Eugene, baby. Next up, we've got Willamette, baby.
Apologies for the technical difficulties there, but as we were saying, Drifters haven't won at home against Corvallis since June of 2022. Alongside Henry Light, I'm Madison Cerezo. Henry, you were just in the middle of telling us about that last series, the series win against Walla Walla, so why don't you continue to do that?
Yeah, we'll get back to it. So the Drifters dropped the first game 6-3 against Walla Walla, and really just a kind of dejected Jeff Lyle at media after that one, just begging for more traffic on the bases, saying the pitchers did enough to win the game. Offense just didn't hold up their end of the bargain, and then the rest of the series, the offense really responds to what he asked for. Put runners on base, won the middle game 5-3, and then yesterday drew 13 walks and won 11-5 to take the series. So
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for your Willamette Valley favorite teams.
So something we're seeing them more in control of their game plan, and something you want to see in a team where they're really playing their own identity. And also some great pitching in that series for the Drifters, really all the way through. They gave up 3 runs in the middle of the game and 5 in game 3. So they held up their end of the bargain the whole series, and we'll hope to see more of that tonight after that also became an issue in the Corvallis series. We mentioned during that series that we really haven't seen too many times the Drifters have both the offense and the defense to win a game this year. Usually it's one end of the bargain looks great and the other doesn't. So now we're finally seeing them kind of gelling in a way that we were waiting for. And we mentioned that series up in Corvallis. One kind of moment that sparked the Drifters in that series in game. All right, we're here with Aiden Gebhardt ahead of game 1 against Corvallis. Last time in Corvallis, he provided a huge spark in that last game. Just how did that feel, and how can you bring that into another series against the Knights?
Just come in with confidence, looking to have fun. We just won a series, so just having a good time, sticking with my process, with my practice, BP rounds and stuff, and just making sure my swing feels good and, I'm ready for the game.
feel like that double in the last game up there was really a turning point in your season. Just had that feel in the moment when you get to second base and get to celebrate that.
It felt awesome. I definitely needed it for the mental side. You know, hitting's really hard sometimes, and as long as you can stick with your mental side and be confident, you know, you'll always succeed. So that felt great, getting that hit and getting 3 runs batted in, and yeah, it was awesome.
You're a two-way guy, and Jeff has mentioned a few times that you've just been frustrated with your swing this year and like finding a side to help out on no matter what. Just how do you kind of approach that when you're maybe struggling on one side when you can bring something either way?
Just try to have fun when you can. You know, baseball is really hard, and it's a game built off failure, so you're gonna fail a lot, and as long as you can stick with it and have fun and keep trying to chase that success, then you'll find it eventually. And yeah.
Now you have a 2-hit game in this series. Just how are you feeling lately with that double in Corvallis turning into more going forward?
You know, like I said, yeah, I stuck with my process. I trust myself. I know I can hit, so I kept at it. I didn't give up. I didn't doubt myself at all, and it worked out. So
you're in the 9-hole today ahead of Hunter Meyer, who's been clicking lately. This whole order is just kind of finding things to do the last series. Just how are you feeling with everyone kind of fitting into their roles right now?
Yeah, everyone's doing great. I feel like everyone's getting the job done. You know, we're last 2 games we're getting runners on, and then people would get a base hit, we get runners in, and then, you know, people would battle to get a walk. We were just all around having good at bats and just all around just great. So.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Number 11, Ian Draper. Batting 5th, the first baseman, number 27, Ethan Porter. Batting 6th, the catcher, number 17, Carter Stewart.
Really great stuff from Henry there. Aiden Gebhard, one of the driving forces behind what feels like the most unified version of this Drifters squad we've had so far this summer. Of course, he's a two-way guy, one of a couple of two-way guys we've had on the roster thus far this summer. But, you know, somebody who's been around the college baseball landscape for quite a few years now. And so somebody who has experience being around this environment just over and over. And so I think he's been fantastic. But, you know, enough about the past. Let's talk about today and, you know, the future. It's a big series for the Drifters, really, in terms of, you know, how they can see themselves growing over the course of the season. Of course, it was just last week that the Drifters were swept by the Knights. As I previously mentioned, pitching gave up 28 runs in that series, and it kind of just sank the hearts of Drifters fans. You could feel it around the ballpark, but before that series, they had just given up 13 runs in the previous 5 games. Now, after allowing 14 runs over the 3 games of the Walla Walla series, pitching seems to be in a better spot. So, without further ado, we'll take a look at the lineups tonight. So, starting for the visiting Corvallis Knights, it's Joey Marasco up at the top, followed by Zane Garvey. Ryan Severns in the 3-hole. He's been ridiculous over the past 6 games. He's got 15 hits over that span. Ian Draper hitting cleanup tonight, followed by Ethan Porter, the Oregon State product. And then Carter Stewart in the 6-hole, followed by Jackson Farah and Kellen Siegel. He's hitting 8 and in center field. And then Diego Cruz, a relative newcomer to the Knights, in the 9-hole. And then on the bump for Corvallis tonight is Bryce Hill. He's projected to go in the MLB draft in just a couple of weeks here, so watch out for him. And then as for the Drifters, it's Hunter Meyer up at the top. He's been on a heater of his own, followed by Nick Gimino, recently returning to the Drifters. Cooper Mullins, what else is new? He's at second base tonight, hitting 3rd. Johnny Elliott hitting cleanup. Nolan Miller in the 5-hole. He felt good last night after, you know, somewhat breaking out of a slump he's had. Zach Story in the 6-hole, followed by Karsten Hansen, who's been really good lately as well. LJ Lehue in the 8-hole. He's doing the catching behind the dish. And then Aiden Gebhard, who we just talked to, in the 9-hole. And then Jack Klee is on the bump. So it's proven to be a good matchup tonight for the Drifters. Certainly have a challenge ahead of them in hitting Bryce Hill. And Jack Klee certainly has a challenge against him. And And facing this lineup, that just about does it for the pregame show. As always, we want to welcome you inside Hamlin Sports Complex. Knight Jarecki is going to be taking you through the action of this one. And as always, if you're joining us from the ballpark, we hope you have a great time. We hope this live stream elevates your ballpark experience. And be back with you in just about 5 minutes for first pitch.
Fans, let's meet our first pitch for tonight's game. Please join us. Please join us in welcoming Maverick. He's 11 years old and a sixth grader, a member of the Springfield Millers. He's their shortstop, and his favorite baseball team is the Cincinnati Reds. Fans, give it up for Maverick. How about that arm? Fans, give it up for Maverick, killing it with the first pitch for tonight's game. Now, please welcome the starting lineup for your 2026 Springfield Drifters. Leading off from Cal State Fullerton, the center fielder number 25, Hunter Meyer. Batting second from Oregon Tech, the shortstop number 41, Nick Jamino. Batting third from the University of Michigan, the second baseman number 4, Cooper Mullins. Batting fourth from Tulane University, the designated hitter number 32, Johnny Elliott. Batting fifth, from the University of Portland, the first baseman, number 22, Nolan Miller. Batting sixth, from UC Davis, the third baseman, number 11, Zach Story. Batting seventh, from Lower Columbia College, the left fielder, number 26, Karsten Hansen. Batting eighth, from Lamar University, he's behind the plate, the catcher, number 19, L.J. Lehue. And batting ninth, from NNU, the right fielder, number 5, Aiden Gebhard. Tonight's starting pitcher for the good guys, from Chemeketa Community College, number 20, Jack Clee. Managing today's game, Drifters skipper Jeff Lyle, as assisted by pitching coach Dean Stiles, and assistant coaches Jackson Bowlander and Dom Graziano, as well as athletic trainer Dr. Randy Bruner. Fans, please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem by Barry Burrow. Fans, how about a hand for Mr. Barry Burrow? Now, let's go down to the field with Monty for today's K-Duck Play Ball Kid of the Game.
Thank you very much, Jerry. I've got a friend down here. His name is Sam. He's with the Springfield Babe Ruth, and he's got 2 words before we get this game going. Play ball! Let's hear it for everybody!
After a series win yesterday for Springfield, the Drifters look for their first win against the Corvallis Knights at home since June 30th of 2022. Hello and welcome to Hamlin Sports Complex. I'm Nat Jarecki, happy to be with you this evening as the Springfield Drifters enter this game 11-22 on the season, 8-16 in WCL South play, facing off against the Corvallis Knights, who are now up to an 18-15 record on the season and 14-10 in WCL South play. The Knights had a pretty slow start to the season, but they've picked it up as of late. They're slugging the ball pretty well, and they come in riding a good amount of wins over their past week and a half before beginning the second half of the season. In fact, they've now won, I believe, 4 straight games, including a couple against Springfield last week and a sweep against the Drifters, and then come in with a win against their league opponent earlier this week. Drifters, again, have not won a league game against the Corvallis Knights at home since 2022, and they look to change that this afternoon. Joey Marasco is the shortstop, leading things off for Corvallis, with Zane Garvey, the right fielder, in the 2-hole. Ryan Severns is the designated hitter, batting third. Ian Draper is the third baseman in the 4th spot. Ethan Porter, the first baseman, batting 5th. Carter Stewart is the catcher in the 6th spot. Jackson Farah is the left fielder, batting 7th. Kellen Siegel is the center fielder, batting 8th, and Diego Cruz is the second baseman in the 9th spot. They're facing off against Jack Lee, a right-hander who recently committed to Ottawa University out of Chemeketa Community College. Drifters today wearing their pinstripe uniforms on this Friday Babe Ruth night at the ballpark. Current weather, 82 degrees, sunny skies, a little warm, but nonetheless a beautiful day for baseball. Glee on the mound. Into the box is Joey Marasco as the first pitch to Marasco is a high chopper to the left side, fielded by Zach Story. The throw to first base in time. One pitch, one out to begin the ball game for Jack Clee as we get started at 6:37 here on this Friday. Defensively today for the Springfield Drifters, out in left field, Kirsten Hansen, Hunter Meyer in center field, and Aiden Gebhardt out in right. Zach Story is at third base with Nick Jamino at shortstop, Cooper Mullins at second base, Nolan Miller at first, and LJ Lehue is catching behind the plate. One out, nobody on for Zane Garvey, the two-hole hitter for Corvallis. Clee's first pitch to him. Whacked out towards the left side. Fielded by Jamino. The throw on the run to first base. In there. 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Quick work for Clee, who comes in as a contact pitcher. And another weak contact play towards the left side of the infield for out number 2. Clee enters the game with a 4.81 ERA across 11 appearances, 3 starts. This is his 4th. Now up to 25 innings pitched with 18 hits, 19 runs given up, 13 of them earned with 17 strikeouts, 13 walks. First pitch to Ryan Severns is in for a strike, 0-1. Severns, the designated hitter for Corvallis, out of UC Santa Barbara on a 6-game hit streak entering this game. The 0-1. Looked at for a strike. 0-2 as Clee has pumped the zone to start. .342 average this season for Severns, his 19th start. 25 hits, 8 doubles, a home run, and 7 RBIs. Clee's 0-2 delivery. Looked at, but it is outside. Lehue tried to frame it. Could not. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Corvallis coming in today wearing their black jerseys. Corvallis in red written across the chest. Glee's 1-2. It's outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. They got the black caps with the red brims. The Drifters today, solid blue hats. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Glee glares into LJ Lehue and comes set at the waist. Right-hander. Rocks in, fires. Ground ball towards the left side. Sliding play by Jamino, but it goes off his mitt and into left field. So, Severns is going to reach first base safely. It's going to be a tough play for Jamino, especially with Severns' speed, and it's going to go down as an infield hit. I think rightfully so. So, a 2-out single extends the inning for Corvallis, and it brings up Ian Draper. The Knights now up to 8th in the WCL in batting average this season. Going into the first game against Springfield last week, they were actually sitting at number 12 in the league, but they've continued to rise, hitting the ball better as of late and up to a .251 average as a team. Pitch is a little bit low to Draper. 1 ball and no strikes to Draper, the third baseman from the University of Washington, originally from Puyallup, Washington, graduate of Rogers High School. Lee nods his head, gets set. Is 1-0. Lifted out towards center field. Over is Hunter Meyer, who makes the catch for the final lap. 1 left stranded after 1 hit, no runs and no errors. We now head to the bottom of the first inning. The score is 0-0 here on the Drifters Streaming Network.
Stands in concourse at any time. We ask you to exercise caution against being hit by batted or thrown balls. Parents, please safeguard the welfare of any young children accompanying you to the game. Are you feeling hungry, looking for dinner, a snack, maybe something sweet? Visit our concessions located inside our bar.
Do you want a bang?
What?
Do you want some bang?
Yeah!
You know you make me wanna get my checkbook and take a loan out and grow my business and come on now. Don't forget to say you will. Don't forget to say it, yeah. Oh, come on now.
0-0 the score as we begin the bottom of the first inning. Starting lineup today for the Springfield Drifters. Hunter Meyer is the center fielder. He's leading things off. Nick Gimino, the Corvallis, Oregon native. He's the shortstop, batting in the 2 spot. Cooper Mullins is the second baseman. He's batting third. Johnny Elliott, the designated hitter, in the 4 hole. Nolan Miller is the first baseman, batting fifth. Zach Story is the third baseman. He's batting sixth. Karsten Hansen is the left fielder in the 7 spot, with L.J. Lehue batting 8th, and Aiden Gebhardt, the designated hitter, in the 9 spot. They're facing off against Bryce Hill, who's one of the top pitchers, if not the top pitcher in the WCL in terms of pure talent. This guy could be a top 5 MLB draft pick, at least top 5 rounds of the MLB draft, but it sounds like he is going to head off to Stanford University, where he's committed, and try to boost his ranking. He's a talented pitcher that comes in with a 4.91 ERA, but 19 strikeouts in 11 innings pitched this season. He leads the WCL in fastball velocity as the right-hander from Greenwich, Connecticut, gets on the mound with Hunter Meyer at the plate. First pitch, Meyer fouls it off. 0-1. So Hill, this is his 4th start of the season. His ERA really inflated by a blow-up start against Edmonton on 6/21. In that start, he allowed 5 runs while recording just 1 out. Outside of that, he's been pretty darn good. 6 earned runs on the season, so that puts it in perspective as Meyer is late on the swing and he falls behind 0-2. So outside of that 1 out, 5-run inning, just 1 earned run across 10 and 2/3 innings. Pretty good stuff for the right-hander, who's ranked number 154 in the MLB draft prospect rankings. The 0-2 delivery. It's above the letters. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good size as well. 6'5", 220 for Hill. So Hunter Meyer at the plate. Up to a 327 average. It's been on a tear as of late for Springfield. The 1-2 to him. Ground ball towards the left side. Fielded at third by Draper. The throw to first base in there for out number 1. Defensively today for the Corvallis Knights, Jackson Farah is in left, Kellen Siegel in center field, Zane Garvey is out in right. Ian Draper is at third base, Joey Marasco is the shortstop, Diego Cruz, a new addition to the Corvallis order. He's at second base with Ethan Porter at first and Carter Stewart catching behind the plate. 1 out, nobody on for Nick Gimino, the Corvallis native, as he takes the first pitch for a strike, going 1. Gimino out of Crescent Valley High School in North Corvallis comes in with a 147 average this season across 9 starts. 0-1 pitch to him. Whiffs at it. 0-2 as Hill has made quick work of the Springfield lineup. Getting ahead early to Hunter Meyer and getting ahead once again here to Nick Gimino, who has 5 RBIs in the season. Started the season with the Drifters on a 10-day contract. Back and signed for the rest of the season. He launches a ball to left field, but it goes off the netting and in foul territory. We'll do the 0-2 again. Foul balls this season brought to you by St. Vincent de Paul. Rather, scratch that. Monica Smith Agency, American Family Insurance, protecting you from life's unexpected hits. No balls and 2 strikes to Gimino. Here's the pitch. Down and away, 1-2. Also want to give a special shout out to Summit Bank, who's in attendance today. They're Oregon's business bank, with you every step of the way. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gimino. The pitch. Called strike 3. 95 on the low outside corner. Hill picks up his first strikeout and retires Gimino for out number 2. Brings up Cooper Mullins. Mullins stands in. With 2 outs and nobody on. Mr. Drifter at the plate. First pitch to him. It's up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Springfield took on Corvallis a week ago at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. And, well, Bryce Hill was the pitcher. He had 8 strikeouts across 4 innings as Mullins lines it right to second base. Diego Cruz, a leaping grab for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. The Drifters go in the bottom of the first inning. We head to the second. 0-0 the score here on the Drifters Streaming Network.
fans, not only are we living on a prayer, but did you know that the Drifters are having 3 fireworks nights this season? That's right. Tickets are already going fast for our last fireworks show of the year on August 1st. First pitch is scheduled for 6:35 with fireworks to follow shortly after the game. Don't miss out on your chance to catch the best fireworks show in town. Please note, kids ages 12 and under do not receive free admission to this event. Off the top of the second inning for Corvallis. The first
0-0 the score as we begin the top of the second inning. Mike Parker, the voice of the Corvallis Knights, will join us on the broadcast. He'll have innings 4, 5, and 6 here on the Drifters live stream. Always a pleasure to have Mike on the broadcast with us here in Springfield, returning the favor after he gave me the middle innings last weekend in Corvallis. First pitch to Ethan Porter is popped up out towards left field. Pretty deep. Hansen to the wall. Makes the catch up against the fence for out number 1. Porter got a hold of it, but smacked it 341 feet to left field, just shy of the fence, as Hansen has made the catch for out number 1. So it brings up Carter Stewart, the catcher from the University of Portland, with Jackson Farah on deck for Corvallis. 1 hit in the first inning given up by Jack Lee, the right-hander from Ottawa University, who just finished his second season at Chemeketa. Pretty quick first inning for Klee. His first pitch. Carter Stewart is in for a strike, going 1. So Stewart at the plate, teammates with Nolan Miller, the starting first baseman today for the Springfield Drifters out at University of Portland. Stewart from Portland, a graduate of Jesuit High School. The 0-1 to him, whiffs at it. 0-2 from Klee. Stewart heading into his sophomore season at Portland. A pretty good freshman campaign with the Pilots. Started 20 games, hit 274 with 17 hits, a double, and 2 home runs. Now hitting 276 this season with Corvallis. The 0-2 to him. It's a fastball outside from Klee. 1-2. Kind of been the every other day catcher for Corvallis. Will probably start game number 3 on Sunday with a rest day tomorrow. The 1-2 to him. Bounces it foul. We'll do it again. This is 18th start of the season with 16 hits, 2 doubles, 2 triples, and 13 RBIs. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and out, nobody on. Klee ready. Kicks and fires. Nice slider, rings him up. 2 away. First strikeout for Klee. And Stewart is sent down on strikes for the second out. So it brings up Jackson Farah. Farah from Lynn Benton Community College, currently in the portal. Graduate of Rex Putnam High School out in Milwaukee, Oregon. The first pitch, it's outside, 1-0. This is his 12th start of the season. Didn't appear in a game between June 14th and July 7th, but back on the roster for Corvallis. These players come and go. The 1-0. Looked at for a strike. 1-1. Farah last season played in the Western Canadian Baseball League for the Okotoks Dogs. Now closer to home. Just down the road from Lynn Benton in Corvallis. 1-1, line drive out towards shallow left field, and Nick Jamino makes an over-the-shoulder catch for the final out. Another quick inning for Jack Klee in the top of the second. We head to the bottom of 2. 0-0 the score here on the Drifters Streaming Network.
Whether you're cheering on the Drifters tonight or relaxing after the game, listening to some tunes, there is nothing like a nice, refreshing Two Towns hard cider in hand. Grab one at the concession stand right here at the ballpark, or stop by their tap room in Corvallis, just off Highway 34, and enjoy crisp cider flights all summer long.
Bottom of the second inning, 0-0 the score. Springfield coming up to hit. Matters 4, 5, and 6 after a quick 1-2-3 inning for Bryce Hill in the bottom of the first inning. So Johnny Elliott, Nolan Miller, and Zach Story. Elliott, the designated hitter from Tulane University. He was out serving coffee at South Valley Coffee earlier this morning and now gets the start for Springfield as the first pitch is below the knees. 1 ball and no strikes, 95-mile-per-hour heater this time from Bryce Hill. So it was Johnny Elliott and Cade Schumard who was out serving coffee earlier today at South Valley Coffee, and it was a cool opportunity for them to get to really be a part of this community. And I think that's what's great about summer collegiate baseball is the opportunities for these players who are not necessarily from this area to really make an impact in this region during their summer season. Elliott swings and misses at the 95-mile-per-hour fastball from Hill. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Elliott at Tulane after 1 season at USC. Originally from Newport Beach, California, a graduate of Mater Dei. He bounces a ball up the middle, scooped by Marasco at short. The throw to first base in there for out number 1. Nolan Miller to the plate. Special shout out to our sponsor, Candace Hook Insurance, protecting what matters most with personalized coverage, trusted guidance, and hometown service from Candace Hook Insurance Services. So Miller, the local kid from Sheldon High School, now playing at the University of Portland, gets his 25th start of the season for Springfield. Comes in with a .225 average. Looks at the first pitch low, 1 ball and no strikes from Bryce Hill. 7 doubles, a home run, and 17 RBIs this season for Miller, with 13 walks. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch from Hill. Whacked out of play. 1-1. So as mentioned, the Drifters faced off against Bryce Hill a week ago today. Hill threw 4 innings, allowed just 3 hits with no earned runs, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. An average of 2 strikeouts an inning as he gets a looking strike to go. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nolan Miller. It was an impressive game for the Corvallis pitching staff as they finished with 15 strikeouts in the 3-0 win. Check swing, he did not go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Behind home plate today is Kyle Sisk. Henry DeJesus is out in the field. The 2-2. Miller looks at it, and it's below the knees. 3 balls and 2 strikes. These are the umpires that Springfield saw in their opening series of the year against the Yakima Valley Pippins. 3-2 pitch is up and away, and it's a walk for Hill. As mentioned, just one of those a week ago, and now the Drifters have their first base runner here on the bottom of the second. 0-0 the score, and it brings up Zach Story. Story out of Orland, California. Now playing at UC Davis, where his grandfather, Bill Story, played basketball. 12th start of the season for Story. 7 hits, 31 at bats. First pitch, it's a fastball high. 1 ball and no strikes. 8 walks this season for Story, who started 42 games for the UC Davis Aggies this past spring. He crouches down, waddles the bat, the 1-1, the 1-0, 2-0 as it goes down below the knees of Story. So 2 balls and no strikes to Story. Getting the start at third base today for Springfield. Day off yesterday. Fouls off the 2-0 pitch, and it's now 2-1. Started the first game against Walla Walla on Tuesday, but no appearances the past 2 days. Hill out of the stretch, dangles the right arm, looks back towards first base, and comes set at the waist. The 2-1. In the zone for a strike, 2-2. See a comment from Ben Crockett. Good to see you, Ben, in the chat. Was looking to see you last week in Corvallis. Did not see you, but good to see you here in the chat watching the game. 2-2 is outside. Throw back towards first base, and back there safely is Nolan Miller. So the count goes full. Final 3 games for the Drifters before the All-Star break. No games on Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday is the WCL Home Run Derby with the All-Star game on Wednesday in Victoria, British Columbia. And then on Thursday, an off day before the Drifters resume WCL play next Friday against the Marion Berries. 3-2 pitch is fouled back by Story. He stays alive. Ending a 6-game homestand before the Drifters go on that All-Star break and then go on a 6-game road trip. 3 games in Marion and then 3 games up in Portland. Season is flying by. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out with a runner at first. Payoff pitch. Called strike 3. Story can't believe it. He thought it was outside. But Sisk rings him up for the second out. It's also the second strikeout for Bryce Hill as it brings up Kirsten Hansen. Hansen heading off to Marshall University after 2 seasons at Lower Columbia. .250 average this season, his 10th start overall with 9 hits, 2 doubles, a triple, and 4 RBIs. Runner at first in Nolan Miller after his 1-out walk. First pitch to Hansen is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Oh, it's Trey Swigert's 21st birthday. Happy birthday, Trey. One of my favorite players on the WCL. 1-0 is outside, 2-0. Hope to see you on Sunday, Ben. Sit down by the press box and say hi. So 2 balls and no strikes. Kirsten Hansen. Unfortunate, Swigert does not get the start on his birthday. Maybe he'll come in and pitch later on. 2-0. It's outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Swigert actually pitched at the end of the game last Friday against Springfield. Picked up the save in the 3-0 win. Two-way player for the Knights that certainly can do it all. In that game, went 1 for 3, had an RBI, and then picked up the save. Striking out the side in the 9th inning. 3-0 pitch. In for a strike, 3-1. So Hansen looking to extend the inning for Springfield here in the bottom of the 2nd. Hills 3-1. In the zone. 3-2. Hill currently sitting in the mid-90s. Seen him as high as 97 today. Miller takes off on the 3-2. It's a swing and a miss by Karsten Hansen. And the third strikeout overall for Bryce Hill ends the inning. One left stranded after the walk. No hits, no runs, and no errors. We head to the third. 0-0 the score here on the Drifters Streaming Network.
Joined by some special guests, Monty.
Alright guys, get ready. I'm down here with my friends from the Millers baseball team, and we're going to be doing a wheelbarrow race today. I need you guys to cheer as loud as you can for the winners and throughout the race. Are you ready? Can you do that for me? Let me hear you. Alright, try it one more time. Can you do that? That's better. On your marks. Get set and go. Oh, they're down there. Oh, there's down. One that's dropped. They got to speak up the pace. Now we're down two. We've got a lead over here on the outside corner. They're close on second and third. They keep going. They're going. Outside is going to win. You guys almost there. Keep going. And we have our winners, you guys. Into the mic. Come here. Into the mic. What are your names? All right, let's hear it for those two as they're going home with a prize.
0-0 the score in the top of the third inning. We'd like to welcome everybody here on Joe Radio. Mike Parker just informed me that the feed kept cutting out, and so I am now on Joe Radio as well. Hello to everybody out in Corvallis. Happy to be with you. Knight Jarecki with you for inning number 3. Mike will be back with you for innings 4, 5, and 6 before I take it the rest of the way for innings 7, 8, and 9. First pitch from Jack Klee here in inning number 3 is outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Kellen Siegel. Out in center field today for Corvallis, Diego Cruz on deck, and Joey Marasco in the hole for Corvallis. Klee's 1-0 pitch. A bunt is shown by Siegel. He pulls it back, and it drops in for a strike. 1-1 on the low outside corner. So Siegel in center field today for Corvallis. Back with the Knights this season. He'll line the ball out towards left field, and it drops down for a base hit. Second hit of the game for Corvallis. As Klee had a quick 1-2-3 inning in the second. Just a 2-out single back in the first inning, and now Diego Cruz will come in with a runner at first and nobody out in the 0-0 ball game. Just the third game overall for Cruz, who's originally from Puerto Rico. Graduate of Central Point Christian High School, now playing at University of Miami out in Ohio. First pitch, he shows bunt, pulls it back, and it misses high. 1 ball and no strikes. At Miami of Ohio this past year, he started 52 games, hit .385 with 19 doubles, 2 triples, and 7 home runs. So a talented prospect, now playing in Corvallis for the Knights. Siegel was dancing around at first base, and he might have been picked off. He is! A great play by Klee, as Siegel was very aggressive. Took about 5 or 6 steps out towards second base and trying to get back, but the tag by Miller in time. A smart play by Klee as he retires Siegel for out number 1. So now nobody on for Diego Cruz, who's batting just .125. Limited action across 2 starts. Bouncing ball to the left side, swinging at the 1-0. Klee fields and fires the first bang play. Miller can't believe it. He thought he beat him with the extension of the glove and leg. But ultimately, Cruz has a swinging bunt single. And it's the second hit of the inning to put a runner at first with 1 out and turn over the lineup for Joey Marasco. Marasco a ground out to third, his first time up. 0-0 the score. Cruz taking a lead from first base, his second hit of the season, and now 9 at bats. No steal attempts this season for Cruz. As Klee's first pitch is outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Marasco. Cruz had 23 steals across those 52 games this past season at Miami. So Marasco at the plate, a young man from George Fox University. Throw back towards first base, and back there safely is Cruz. Klee looking to go 2 for 2 and pick off attempts here in the third. Marasco from Livermore, California, out in the East Bay. 1-0 to him. In for a strike. It's like maybe change up that time from Klee as he's able to connect on the outside corner. 1-1. Marasco, the Northwest Conference Rookie of the Year this past season at George Fox. Throw back towards first base, and back there safely is Diego Cruz. In fact, just looking at the roster for Corvallis, you can have a max of 4 players from a single university. Of course, the Knights with 4 players from Oregon State, but they also have 4 players from George Fox, with Marasco one of them. The 1-1, Cruz is on the move. It's a pickoff attempt, and now throw out towards second as Cruz gets there safely. I should have said a pitch out attempt, as Leahy's throw was late, and Cruz has his first steal of the summer for Corvallis. So the Knights have a runner in scoring position here in the top of the third. Klee nods his head, comes set, looks back towards second a few times. An aggressive lead from Cruz, and now turn around is Klee and fires back towards second. Back there safely once again is Cruz. Waiting the 2-1 is Marasco, who swung at the first pitch he saw to begin the game at 6:37. 2-1, Cruz on the move again. The throw to third base is wide. Story did a good job just knocking it down, going across the body with his mitt to just get his mitt on it and prevent the run from scoring, with the ball certainly heading to left field if he doesn't make that play. So 3 balls, a strike, 1 out. Klee shakes twice and now comes set. It's 3-1. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Good stuff from Klee. Got Marasco front-footed. Marasco this season, 25 strikeouts. He is today's Dry Pro beer batter. Payoff pitch. It's down and away. It gets past Leahy. Ricochets off the backstop. The toss to Klee is late as Cruz is in to score, and the Knights take a lead 1-0 here in the top of the third. So a walk and a run scored for Corvallis here in the top of the third inning. The Knights with 1 run on 3 hits. Springfield, no runs, no hits so far, as Bryce Hill has done a good job for Corvallis through the first 2 frames, and the offense helping him out here. Small ball paying off. Infield single, and now throw back towards first base. Marasco back there safely after the walk, but it was an infield single by Diego Cruz, 2 steals, and then pass ball. Garvey at the dish. The first pitch to him. It's a pitch out outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Drifters are expecting Marasco to maybe steal in this situation. He has 9 steals on 9 attempts this season. Zane Garvey is at the plate. Garvey out of Western Oregon University, originally from Beaverton, Oregon. 247 average this season, 12 RBIs, 3 doubles, and 24 hits. Klee, another pitch out. Throw goes down towards second base, and I don't think that Mullins or Jamino were ready for it, as both of them were playing away from the bag, and Marasco steals second with ease. So a runner in scoring position and 1 out. Here in the top of the third inning, Corvallis with the lead, and Garvey a chance for an RBI here. He's seen 2 pitches in this at-bat, and both of them up and away, as the Drifters were anticipating Marasco being on the move. Marasco dancing at second as Klee kicks and fires, and the pitch is outside. 3 balls and no strikes to Garvey. Garvey, a 2-way player, who also has good stats on the mound this season with a 1.13 ERA. 3-0 to him. taken outside, and it's a walk issued by Klee. So after quick innings in the first and second, Klee struggling a little bit here in the third. Allowed a leadoff single to Kellen Siegel. The only out recorded was him picking Siegel off during the at-bat to Diego Cruz. But then a swinging bunt single, 2 steals. Wild pitch to score the run. And now back-to-back walks as Lehue has a mound visit with Klee. Mound visits this season brought to you by St. Vincent de Paul. Visit both of their 2 stores in Springfield today, where you'll find out that St. Vinny's is more than just a thrift store. So a runner at second and a 1-0 game. And now Garvey at first after the walk. Severin's at the plate. The sophomore from UC Santa Barbara, originally from Fontana, California, graduate of Etiwanda High School. First pitch, up and inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Started 10 games this past season at UC Santa Barbara during his freshman campaign. Hit .225 with 3 doubles and 4 RBIs. Glees 1-0, and we'll have to wait. He's going to throw it to third, and now Marasco's in a pickle. Mullins has it at second. He's going to tag Marasco as Garvey ends up at second base. So 2 outs in this inning, both of them as Klee has stepped off the mound and thrown out a runner. Marasco trying to get aggressive and head to third base. Corvallis comes in with the 5th most steals in the WCL at now 60. And now just 1 runner in scoring position at second, 2 outs. And Klee could keep the damage at just 1 with an out here. 1-0, ground ball towards the left side. A slow roller for Jamino, who charges and fields and fires to first for the final out. But not before Corvallis can score 1 run on 2 hits. They leave 1 stranded, no errors defensively. Going to the bottom of the third, 1-0 the score. It's the Knights with the lead here on the Drifters Streaming Network.
Tonight, the Drifters would love to give a shout out to our party deck guests from Summit Bank. We hope you enjoy the game and
moves fast. Your car, your home, your family, they're everything. At Candace Hook Insurance, we've been protecting Eugene families for nearly a decade with personalized coverage that fits your life. Auto, home, life, business, whatever you need, we're here. Because families are the backbone of our community. Get your free quote today at eugeneinsuranceagent.com or call 541-687-4800. Protecting dreams, one family at a time.
One to nothing, Corvallis with the lead as we begin the bottom of the third inning. LJ Lehue, Aiden Gebhardt, and Hunter Meyer due up for the Drifters, facing off against Bryce Hill, potentially a top 5 round MLB draft pick. This upcoming MLB draft, the number 154th overall prospect. We'll see where he ends up. Probably heading to Stanford University to finish and fulfill his commitment to the Stanford Cardinal. So here's LJ Lehue, catcher at the dish for Springfield. First pitch to him, in for a strike, going 1. Lehue this past spring was the bullpen catcher for Rice University, now transferring to Lamar University, just down the road from Houston, and Beaumont, Texas, to the east. The 0-1, it's outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Lehue. Lehue for Springfield this season, batting .167, but his on-base percentage at .382, thanks to 21 walks, which are top 15 in the WCL. The 1-1 to him is fouled back, 1-2. Patient hitter at the plate that spent last summer on the MLB Draft League with the Mahoning Valley Scrapers. Now playing in the WCL this season. Looks like his younger brother Colt is the bat boy once again for Springfield. We saw Colt last weekend out in Corvallis, and I think the Lehus are still in town as Lehue goes down swinging. It's the 4th strikeout for Bryce Hill as he blows past a 94-mile-per-hour fastball past Lehue for the opening out here on the bottom of the 3rd. Again, Mike Parker, the voice of the Corvallis Knights, will be joining us, and he'll have innings 4, 5, and 6 here on the Drifters live stream, as well as Joe Radio today. And then I'll take you the rest of the way for innings 7, 8, and 9. 1 out, nobody on for Aiden Gebhardt, who shows bunt, pulls it back, and the pitch misses. 1 ball and no strikes. Gebhardt was our pregame interview today. Back with the Drifters for a 3rd season. Comes in with a 156 batting average across 22 starts. A two-way player for the Drifters as well. Who's appeared in 6 games on the mound. Shows bunt once again, pulls it back, and the pitch misses up and away from Hill, 2-0. One of the fastest runners in the WCL. 4th in the league in steals this season with 16. Just trying to get on base again. It's been a while since he's stolen a base as the 2-0 is in for a strike, 2-1. I was joking with him for the game, telling him, they got to stop hitting the ball when you steal, as the 2-1 is a little bit low, 3-1. Yesterday, he attempted to steal second, and then it was a hit-and-run situation with Hunter Meyer as he smacked it up the middle, but it was a line drive right to the second baseman, who ran to the second base bag to cover. 3-1 is up and away, and Gebhardt has a walk. So we'll see if he tests the arm of Carter Stewart behind the plate. Gebhardt wants to break the record for steals in a season for Springfield, which is currently sitting at 30, with Gebhardt a little over halfway there at 16. Porter keeping an eye on him at first base as Hill comes set. Hunter Meyer at the plate, 0 for 1 with the ground out to 3rd. And the throw goes back towards first base, and a swim move by Gebhardt to get back safely. And now DeJesus is out to have a conversation with Brooke Knight. The throw certainly beat Gebhardt back to the bag, but it looked like the swing move by Gebhardt allowed him to reach first base safely. There's not much that Brooke can do in this situation as, well, DeJesus had a better vantage point closer to the first base bag. And not even an appeal to Kyle Sisk, the home plate umpire. So Gebhardt leads off from first base. Meyer still awaiting the first pitch as he fouls off the pitch from Hill. 0-1. We're starting to see the velocity drop a little bit from the right-hander. Addison Cerezo, the intern sitting in front of us, he told us he got up to 98 a couple innings ago. Now 93 with the fastball. Still impressive here in the WCL. Not too many guys throwing that hard in this league. The 0-1 delivery, it's outside, it gets past Stewart, and Gebhardt's going to advance over to second. But he slides off the bag and still is safe. I think they're saying that he was pushed off the bag by Cruz, and they're going to call him safe, as now another conversation. I think this time it's Sisk having the conversation with Knight. And the fans are upset too. I gotta say, I remember these two umpires from the first series, and there was a lot of controversy involved in those few games against the Yakima Valley Pippins. Already getting some jeers from the crowd. 1-1, a little bit low, 2 balls and a strike to Meyer, who had a phenomenal freshman season at Cal State Fullerton, starting 40 games, 13 RBIs, 6 doubles. Still impressive stuff for a true freshman, originally from Rancho Cucamonga, California. The 2-1. Low the knees. Now 3 balls and a strike. Graduate of Los Osos High School. All-League second team there his senior year. All-League first team during his junior season. Gebhard will go back towards second as Hill steps off the mound and looks back towards two. 1-0, it's Corvallis with the lead, but the tying run in scoring position for Springfield here in the bottom of the third. Hill looks back towards second, comes set at the waist, looks back towards the plate. It's 3-1. Misses the mark. It's a walk to Hunter Meyer. And the Drifters have two runners aboard here in the bottom of the third. And it brings up Nick Jamino. So Jamino started his career at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo after graduating from Crescent Valley High School out in Corvallis. Redshirted there. Came and played last summer with the Springfield Drifters, appearing in 24 games and hitting .246, and then just had a monster spring out in Klamath Falls. As Hill steps off the mound and looks back towards second, Gebhard back there safely. Ended up being a first-team CCC player, as now looks like Bo Kearns is coming out to have a conversation with Bryce Hill. Mound visits again brought to you by St. Vincent de Paul. Visit both of their two stores in Springfield today, or you'll find out that St. Vinny's is more than just a thrift store. Also want to give a special shout out to Over the River Guide Service. Former drifter John Over is your certified local fishing guide with a passion for the McKenzie River and years of experience navigating its waters. You can visit overtherivergs.com to book your trip today. So 1-0 the score. Runners at first and second after back-to-back walks after the fourth strikeout for Bryce Hill. The right-hander heading off towards Stanford, struggling with the command here in inning number 3. Similar to what we saw from Jack Klee in the top half of this inning. Klee, quick work in innings 1 and 2, and then ran it in some trouble in inning number 3. Klee allowed 2 hits, both of them being singles with 2 walks. Ultimately, 1 run came in. With 1 runner left stranded, Klee was able to get 2 outs on pickoff attempts in the top half of the inning. Hill several times has tried to pick off a Drifters runner and has been unsuccessful. So 2 on, 1 out in a 1-0 ball game. Jamino in the box as the first pitch is fouled away. 0-1. Foul balls this season, again brought to you by Monica Smith Agency's American Family Insurance, protecting you from life's unexpected hits. Gebhard going to take off towards third. The 0-1 pitch is low. The throw to third is high. Gebhard with the steal. Getting closer to the record and finally has the opportunity to steal a bag. And he does, ends up at third base. And now Hunter Meyer at first base after he did not run on the play. So runners on the corners, 1 out in a 1-0 game. Hill back on the slab. The right-hander dangles the arm and looks in to Carter Stewart, his catcher. Get the sign. Gets the grip and lets her rip. 1-1 pitch down and away. 2 balls and a strike to Jamino. At Crescent Valley High School was an all-state player at the 5A level. All Mid-Willamette Valley Conference honors as well. Hitting .407 as a senior with 11 doubles and 25 RBIs. 2-1 is grounded down the left field line. Gebhard's going to come in and score to tie the game. Meyer going from first to third. Taking off towards second is Jamino. He's going to slide in there safely. It's an RBI double for Nick Jamino. And the Drifters even it up at 1 here in the bottom of the third.
Now batting the second baseman, number 4, Cooper Mullins.
The Corvallis, Oregon native, getting it done against his hometown team. Now 2 in scoring position. Still just 1 out, as now it looks like 2 players are headed to the bullpen for Corvallis to start warming up. First pitch to Cooper Mullins is in for a strike, 0-1. Mullins will line out to second base his first time up. Got pretty good contact on it, but Diego Cruz was playing deep into right field as the second baseman was able to snag the liner from Mullins his first time up. But a chance for 2 ribbies here. The infield playing well in with the runner at third. The 0-1 Mullins pokes at it, but chops it foul into the dugout of the Corvallis Knights, 0-2. Mullins holds the Drifters' career record for games played, at-bats, hits, doubles, RBIs, and walks. 4th season in Springfield for the Eugene, Oregon native. And he goes down swinging. 3 pitches, 3 strikes thrown for Bryce Hill. 2 away. It's the 5th strikeout for the right-hander, that time a 91-mile-per-hour fastball. But still 2 in scoring position with 2 out. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, Springfield a chance to take the lead. First pitch. Inside, 1 ball and no strikes. So 1-0 to Johnny Elliott. Back in the WCL after playing last season in the Northwoods League. Hill looks back towards third and now comes to the plate, and that pitch misses outside. A good play by Carter Stewart, lunging into the left-handed hitter's box to save a run from coming in to score. Hunter Meyer with his speed at third. If it gets past Stewart, he's probably coming in to score. So 2 balls and no strikes to Elliott. The pitch fouled away. 2-1. So 2-1 to Elliott, who spent the 2024 season with the Bend Elks. Ended up with 3 doubles, a home run, and 12 RBIs there across 21 games. That was 12th start of the season in Springfield. 2-1 to him. Taken down and inside. And it's now 3-1 to Elliott. Another start at DH for him today. Known for his catching ability, probably the best receiver on the team. But has been dealing with a little bit of a shoulder issue, and so sticking to DHing as of right now. 3-1 to him, in for a strike, as Hill's able to connect with the low outside corner with a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. 3 balls and 2 strikes on this warm evening in Springfield. 79 degrees, not a ton of breeze. Flag straight down in center field. The payoff pitch. Fouled off by Elliott. Stays alive. It's Babe Ruth night at the ballpark. Tomorrow is Rapid's birthday. It's his 5th birthday, and we're celebrating by giving out 500 Rapid bobbleheads. Looking forward to that promotion, our very first ever bobblehead giveaway here at Hamlin Sports Complex. Payoff pitch to Elliott. It's looked at, and it misses outside. So the 3rd walk of the inning loads the bases for Springfield. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Nolan Miller, who walked his first time up last inning. So 5 strikeouts for Hill, but also 4 walks, only 1 hit allowed. Miller in the box, the left-handed hitter. Lines the first pitch he sees towards second. A diving play by Cruz to knock it down, but he has no play at first base as Miller gives the Drifters the lead. It's going to go down as an infield single as Cruz was close to making a catch on a diving play to snag the line drive. It popped free from his mitt, and then ultimately he couldn't get the throw off to first base. It was a tough one, 96 off the bat. And that's going to do it for Bryce Hill. A pitching change coming, 2-1. Springfield with the lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. Bases loaded, and a new pitcher coming in the game for Corvallis. We'll let you know who it is on the other half of this break. You're on the Drifters Streaming Network.
fans, your attention, please. Now pitching for the Knights, number 19, Jack Galanita.
Well, after 2 2/3 innings, Bryce Hill, his day is done. 2 hits given up with 2 runs so far, is responsible for all 3 base runners, with Nolan Miller at first base, Johnny Elliott at second, and Nick Gimino at third. Hunter Meyer coming in to score on the infield single for Nolan Miller. And the bases are loaded for Zach Story, with Jack Galanita into the game for Corvallis, making his 14th appearance of the season. Galanita now second in the WCL in appearances this season. He has a 3-0 record across those 13 outings, 26 1/3 innings pitch, with a total of 19 strikeouts and just 7 walks. His first pitch is a slider that cuts in for a strike to the right-handed hitting Zach Story, 0-1. Story, a strikeout look in his first time up. He was one of those 5 strikeout victims of Bryce Hill. Galanita misses inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Galanita worked 2 2/3 innings of scoreless baseball with 2 strikeouts against the Drifters on the 3rd a week ago. The 1-1. It's above the letters. 2 balls and a strike to Story. So Hill couldn't get through the 3rd inning. Got up to 62 total pitches and certainly ran out of steam. Now Galanita is the man they call on in this situation as Story swings and fouls it away down the left field line. Just about a foot or so left of the line. So 2 balls and 2 strikes from Galanita, a young man from Lake Balboa, California, out in the San Fernando Valley, a graduate of Crespi High School. Hasn't allowed a run since the 18th of June. 2-2, looked at, called strike 3. The bases are left loaded as Springfield scores a total of 2 runs on 2 hits. The 3 left stranded with no errors defensively. We head to the 4th inning. Mike Parker will have you for innings 4, 5, and 6 here on the Drifters Streaming Network and Joe Radio.
Promotions including Rapid's birthday party tomorrow night. Not one, but
When you donate to St. Vincent de Paul of Lane County, you're creating jobs.
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely.
Generating money for meals, housing, and job training.
Have a great day.
And saving items from the landfill by recycling. Have fun, save some money, and do something nice for your neighbor. St. Vincent de Paul of Lane County.
leading off for the Knights, the 3rd baseman, number 11, Ian Draper.
On the score, it's the Springfield Drifters with the lead for innings 4, 5, and 6. Here's the voice of the Corvallis Knights, Mike Parker.
Thank you, Knight. Through 3 innings on this beautiful evening at Hamlin Sports Complex, the Drifters 2 runs, 2 hits, and no errors. The Knights a run, 3 hits, and no errors. Jack Klee going to work on Ian Draper and delivers a first pitch strike. The 0-1 pitch, Draper a fly ball to shallow left field. Karsten Hansen coming in. The shortstop, Nick Gimino, going out, and Nick makes another Nice running catch away from the plate. Backhanding the little looper off the bat of Ian Draper. One gone, and Ethan Porter will be the hitter. Ethan flied to left field in his first at-bat. We're in the fourth, 2-1 Springfield. The Drifters taking advantage of Bryce Hill's control difficulties and an early exit for Bryce, walking 3 in the bottom of the third and 4 altogether. Jack Galanita came on to end the inning in which the Drifters took the lead at 2-1. That's where we sit here in the fourth. The first pitch, a strike, the count 0-1 to Ethan Porter. Klee comes back, and Porter slaps one down the right field line, a possible extra base hit. In fact, Ethan will get 2 at least. Aiden Gebhard tried to dig the ball out of the corner, and Porter's on his way for 3 and gets there. A one-out triple for Ethan Porter on a pretty good pitch made by Jack Klee, but Porter fights it off and was being played to pull by Aiden Gebhard. So Aiden with a long run into the right field corner, a triple for Porter. Carter Stewart the batter, and the Knights with an opportunity to pull even with an out. With Carter coming to the plate, Ethan Porter, all-star game bound next week, along with Morgan Codron representing the Knights in Victoria. Porter with the triple, his first of the summer. He has 19 runs batted in, and that is tops on the squad, tied with Trey Swigert in that category. Carter Stewart takes the first pitch ball. Coach Lyle instructs his infielders to play in on the artificial turf here at Hamlin Sports Complex. The 1-0 pitch to Carter Stewart misses outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on a still beautiful, warm evening in Springfield. Great to have you with us on the Drifters streaming network and on 1240 Joe Radio. The 2-0 pitch, a chopper to third. Zach Story was playing in, and Zach throws across the diamond for out number 2. Carter Stewart bouncing out to third. The infield can return to normal depth. Jackson Farah, the hitter. The Knights ran themselves out of a possible big inning last inning, settled for their one run that they have in the game, but they had a runner picked off at first and another picked off between second and third. So the potential for a crooked number went awry as a result, and Jack Klee now pitching with the lead. His first pitch change in their first strike to Jackson Farah. 0-1 the count, 2 down. 2-1 Springfield in the fourth. The Drifters have been playing well here at home, as you well know, following the Drifters and their home fortunes, a sweep and a series win in their last 2 3-game sets. And they have a 2-1 lead on the Knights here tonight in the fourth. The pitch to Farah misses outside, a bluff by L.J. Lehue, no throw down to third. Ethan Porter, a 1-out triple. He's there with 2 down. Klee from the stretch delivers away. Ball 2, 2-1. Jack Klee working with L.J. Lehue, his battery mate. Nolan Miller at first, Cooper Mullins at second, Nick Gimino at short, Zach Story at third, with Karsten Hansen in left, Hunter Meyer in center, and Aiden Gebhard in right. The 2-1 pitch, Jackson takes outside, ball 3, 3-1. Kellen Siegel on deck. Game 2 tomorrow night at 6:35. Sunday afternoon, the series finale at 4:05. The pitch to Jackson Farah just outside with a fastball for ball 4. And that'll bring Kellen Siegel to the plate. Kellen singled to left field and then was trying to take a lead that I know that it has some effective qualities to it. Pitching coach Dean Stiles on his way to the mound, unless that's Coach Lyle. I can't tell from here. Do you know if that's the pitching coach, Stiles, or is it is Stiles? So Stiles going out to try to help Jack Klee out a little bit. Travis Pisano was a practitioner. It has a name, and it's a newer technique in taking a lead that I remember growing up with the game, but that kind of momentum lead where if you get caught hopping in the direction of second base in this case, if you're caught leaning while you're kind of jumping out into that kind of lead, you can get in trouble rather than a more measured paced lead. And that's what happened with Kellen after his base hit in the first. He was taking kind of an aggressive hopping lead, and as his momentum was taking him to second, that's when Jack Klee threw over. If there is a term for that, Dan Siegel, Brooks Hatch, anybody listening, what is that lead called? And it is of recent vintage, correct? Dan, you didn't do that. I didn't, Brooks. Nobody, I don't remember that kids taking that kind of lead back in, quote unquote, our day. And I guess it has some advantages and pluses. Travis Pisana engaged in it a lot at Oregon State and with the Knights, but I still feel like there's some downsides to it too. And we saw it with Kellen when he got caught at the right time on the throw over. The first pitch to Kellen here, a strike, a changeup, tap foul at the plate, and Kellen is down in the count 0-2. The Knights are trailing 2-1 in the fourth. Ethan Porter, a one-out triple, is at third. Jackson Farah at first. Kellen, who has hit back to the box and singled to left, trying to pull the Knights even in the fourth. 2-1 Drifters. Jack from the stretch, and the pitch on the way pulled foul. Jackson Farah was off and running with the pitch. And we'll come back and try it again. Farah has stolen one base. He's been caught twice. Kellen Siegel has been used primarily as a pitcher, but does have 38 at-bats. Hitting 105, looking for a big RBI here. He swings and fouls it back, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. If Kellen does get Porter home from third with a base hit, it would be his first RBI of the summer. 2-1 Drifters in the top of the fourth inning. Ethan Porter from third, Jackson Farah from first, and 2 down. Jack Klee out of the stretch, the right-hander with a long hold, and now turns and throws to first in a sprawling grab by Nolan Miller, saving a run for the Drifters. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 away. The Knights will have Monday night off and an opportunity to begin a homestand with the Gunderson Academy next week on Tuesday. A chopper wide of third, Zach Story to his left, fields and throws to first, and the inning is over. A one-out triple for Ethan Porter, but Jack Klee is able to strand 2 Knights in the top of the fourth inning. It is the Drifters 2 and the Knights 1. We'll be back after this on the Springfield Drifters live stream.
Visit driftersbaseball.com. Leading off the bottom of the fourth inning, the left fielder, number 26, Karsten Hansen.
Bottom of the There we go. Bottom of the fourth. 2-1 Drifters. Jack Galanita goes to work on a 1-0 pitch, a ground ball, and a couple of hops and under the glove of Diego Cruz into right center field. Now, we'll wait on the scoring on that.
Now batting the catcher, number 19.
It'll be an error on on Diego Cruz. And so Jack had made a nice pitch to open the inning. But Karsten Hansen is aboard on the Cruz error, and L.J. Lehue, the batter. 2-1 Springfield, bottom of the fourth inning. The pitch to Lehue is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. L.J. struck out against Bryce Hill in the third. Bryce just did not quite have his command this evening. Some control difficulties. He retired the side in order in the first, issued a walk in the second, but struck out 2. Had 2 more strikeouts in the third, so he ends up with 5 strikeouts in 2 2/3, but not able to get out of the inning, and walked 3. Both of the walks came in to score last inning, and charged to Bryce Hill. Galanita, a couple of throws over to first, keeping an eye on Karsten Hansen, who goes and had a good jump. But the pitch is swung on and rolled foul by L.J. Lehue. The count, no balls and 2 strikes to the Springfield Drifters left-hand hitting catcher. Lehue, a bullpen coach, catcher I should say, at Rice this past spring, but has gone into the portal and is heading off to Beaumont, Texas to play for Lamar. Good for him. Good opportunity ahead for LJ. He fouls another one at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-1 Drifters, bottom of the fourth. Lehue fouls another one away in front of his own dugout.
Everybody clap your hands.
And it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to LJ. With right-hander Jack Galanita coming set. Karsten Hansen draws a throw and gets back again. It's Galanita and Carter Stewart, the Knights battery. Ethan Porter at first, Diego Cruz at second, Joey Morosco at short, Ian Draper at third, Jackson Farah in left, Kellen Siegel in center, Zane Garvey in right. The pitch from Galanita swung on and missed. Strike 3. Jack strikes out L.J. Lehue for the first out of the inning, and Aiden Gebhardt will be the hitter. Aiden drew a walk last inning and ended up scoring the tying run. The Drifters pushed across the go-ahead run later in the frame on a double by Nick Gimino. The Drifters leading 2-1. The pitch on the way, bunted by Aiden Gebhardt up along first. Foul. No balls and 1 strike. Gebhardt competing at Northwest Nazarene after beginning his collegiate career at Lane Community College and then to Greeley in northern Colorado. Young man out of Redmond High School in Oregon. The strike 1 pitch, chop foul at the plate, and the count to Aiden, no balls and 2 strikes. Here in the bottom of the fourth, the Drifters leading 2-1. A slight breeze beginning to ripple the flag out beyond the right center field fence. Just a gorgeous tree-lined venue here. The runner goes, line drive base hit to center field. Karsten Hansen races to third and gets there on the hit and run single by Aiden Gebhardt. So the Drifters aggressive on the base paths, sending Karsten Hansen, Coach Lyle, sending him for the second time in the sequence, and Aiden Gebhardt with a solid single to center field. First and third, 1 out. Hunter Meyer, the batter. And for all of the appreciation that I have just looking around, seeing Spencer's viewed in the background, the gorgeous trees and the green, it is lush and beautiful. What we just saw would have moved Branch Rickey to near tears. A perfect execution of the hit and run. The Mahatma said that you can plumb all the mysteries of the universe. For him, there's nothing more beautiful than to see the hit and run executed flawlessly. So somewhere the Mahatma Branch Rickey smiling over the Drifters and what they just did. With Hansen going a solid single back up the middle, sending Karsten to third. The pitch now to Hunter Meyer, misses high, ball one, 1-0. First and third, one out, 2-1 Drifters in the bottom of the fourth. We'll have a pitch clock violation on the batter, Hunter Meyer, for not being ready to hit, and so the count goes to 1-1 to Hunter. First and third, one out, 2-1 Drifters, and looking for more. Jack Alanita set. He turns and throws to first, and again diving back to the bag is Aiden Gebhardt, who delivered the single to center field. The Knights infield at double play depth. A safety squeeze is on. Pulling back, Hunter Meyer takes low and away, ball two, 2-1. The lushness of the atmospherics not lost upon a person I was happy to meet a few minutes ago. Gebhardt goes, a throw on a hop. Gebhardt hesitated, and now sprawling to try to make the tag is Diego Cruz, and Diego thought that he had Gebhardt off the bag. Gebhardt inexplicably slowed down. I hope he's okay physically. He almost came to a complete stop en route to second, and now is hobbling it off a little bit, and a trainer will come out of the dugout for the Drifters to check on Aiden Gebhardt's condition. He seems to be bending and flexing his left leg a bit. An odd-looking play. The throw from Carter Stewart way offline and bounced towards Diego Cruz. Diego having a little bit of a tough time defensively, has an error already in the inning, and even last inning on the ball earlier, I should say, in the inning hit his way. He dropped the ball for an error. Karsten Hansen, the runner at third. And there, it looked as though Diego had a chance to get an out when Gebhardt was struggling just to kind of barrel his way into second. And Diego dropped the ball. Otherwise, I think the base umpire was getting ready, Kyle Sisk, to call Gebhardt out. But Diego not able to hang on to the ball, and apparently Gebhardt's going to be okay. The count goes to 3-1, meanwhile, to Hunter Meyer, with the Knights pulling their infield in. The 3-1 pitch, foul back, and the count 3-2. We were having technical difficulties on our broadcast next door, and so I just went into the stands to sit with my daughter, Elle, who's at the game tonight. And sitting next to us turns out to be Mary Bell Ramirez, Carlo Ramirez's mother. Big chopper toward short. This will score a run. The throw to first is not in time on the Baltimore chop base hit off the bat of Hunter Meyer. Down the line to score an unearned run is Carson Hansen. The Drifters lead it 3-1.
Now batting the shortstop,
And
number 41,
that'll bring to the plate Nick Gimino on the infield single. Even with the infield in, the Baltimore chopper off the plate just hung in the air too long for Joey Morosco to be able to field and get an out. Meyer with the RBI. 3-1 Drifters, and runners at the corners with one out. Aiden Gebhardt going to third. Hunter Meyer with the RBI single. Now the Knights have Meyer hung up between first and second, but Meyer gets back safely to first, and scrambling back to third is Aiden Gebhardt. So a good job on the part of Meyer inducing the throw and then able to get out of the rundown. And so it's just still the same, with apologies to Bob Seeger. First and third and one out. Again, the safety squeeze shown. The pitch to Nick Gimino, a strike, and the count 0-1. And if Branch Ricky's happy about seeing the perfect execution of the hit and run, the late, great Tim McCarver would be very happy as well. He said the most underrated thing in baseball, the ability to go from first to third on a base hit. And that the good runners and the good teams over the course of a long season do that more often than the less successful teams. It's an underrated part of the game. And the Drifters have a first and third again, and the runner goes, and the safety squeezes on, and Nick Gimino fouls the bunt to the right. 0-2 the count. Coach Lyle is really aggressive here in the inning. His team has forged a 3-1 lead. They have runners at first and third and one out here in the fourth. And again, the runner goes, and the pitch is inside, and just scooting in, standing up is Hunter Meyer. So the Knights will pull the infield in with the double play no longer in order. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nick Gimino. Jack Alanita turns his back on home plate for a moment, stares out to center field where Kellen Siegel is playing very shallowly. In fact, Farah, Siegel, and Garvey way in. The right-hand hitting Gimino swings and hits it up the middle into center field for a base hit. Gebhardt scores. Hunter Meyer stops at third. And the Drifters lead it 4-1. Nick Gimino with his second run batted in. An RBI double in the third, an RBI single here for Nick. And Cooper Mullins will be the hitter with runners at first and third and only one out. Gimino out of Crescent Valley High School, and good for him, the son of Vincent and Heather Mackey Gimino, 24 grad at CV, what began his career at Cal Poly, and just had a huge year at OIT this past spring after redshirting for Coach Larry Lee. 2 RBIs tonight. 4-1 Springfield. Cooper Mullins shows bunt. Takes high and away, ball 1, 1-0. The Knights again play their infield at double play depth. Some activity will begin behind Jack Alanita, who turns and throws to first, and Gimino back to the bag. Nick, in his banner year for the Owls down at OIT, hit .369, was 9 for 13 in stolen bases. Mullins takes a fastball for a strike, and the count 1-1. Cooper twice against Bryce Hill struck out. Lined out, I should say, and then struck out against Bryce in the third. The last out that Bryce was able to record. 2 2/3 for Hill. Galanita delivers high and away, ball 2, 2-1. 4-1 Drifters, bottom of the fourth inning. Springfield has been playing very well at home with a sweep of Marion, a series win against Walla Walla, and a lead here tonight. The 2-1 pitch, off speed and swung on and missed. That evens the count to Cooper at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dominic Graziano with a word for his runner, Hunter Meyer, at third. Nick Gimino at first. Jack Alanita out of the stretch, turns and throws to first. And again, back to the bag dives Nick Gimino. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 1 out. And the Drifters trying to separate a bit here. The pitch on the way misses for ball 3, 3-2. Johnny Elliott, the on-deck hitter. Galanita has had a wonderful summer. Struggling a bit now. The 3-1 pitch, a chopper to Cruz, plays it on a hop, feeds Morosco on to first. Double play to retire the side, and that is good work on the part of Galanita to keep himself and the Knights very much in touch with this ball game. The Drifters, though, get their second straight 2-run inning, and we are through 4. The Drifters 4 and the Knights 1 on the Drifters streaming network.
Leading off the top of the 5th inning for the Knights, the second baseman, number 12, Diego Cruz.
Top of the 5th inning at Hamlin Sports Complex in Springfield. The Drifters leading 4-1. Right-hander Jack Klee has pitched very well, has gone all the way. Diego Cruz runs up to slap and pulls back and takes high and away. He told me before the game that technique this past year at Miami of Ohio. I said, now, how often do you use it? He said, well, I got about 17 hits with it this past spring, and I had to pin him down a bit. You got about 17 hits? Well, I got 17 hits. Using a technique that I haven't seen many use. Ichiro maybe a little bit, where he's almost like a softball type swing from the left side, beginning to run up and almost out of the box upon contact. And he got an infield single that way in the 3rd and scored the Knights' only run in the 3rd. He takes outside, ball 2. 2-1 to Diego Cruz, leading things off for the Knights in the 5th inning. The 2-1 pitch swung out and hit foul back of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Diego Cruz, Joey Morosco, and Zane Garvey for the Knights in the 5th. After really having a strong weekend, or series of games, I should say, earlier in the week in Portland, coming down here to the southern edge of the Willamette Valley, not so much so far. Ground ball to short. Nick Gimino fields and throws out Diego. 1 away, and Joey Morosco, the batter. Joey has grounded to 3rd and walked. The Knights with 13 runs in the first game of the series, and came back to win the series after dropping the middle game, and we're swinging the bats extremely well. Tonight, not getting much going. A swinging bunt to the left of the mound. Good play by Jack Klee, coming off to barehand, turns and fires a fastball to Nolan Miller for the out at first. Quickly 2 away in the top of the 5th inning. Morosco making an out on the first pitch for the second time tonight. And Zane Garvey, the batter. Zane has grounded to short and walked. Same 2 clubs tomorrow night, right back here at Hamlin Sports Complex for a 6:35 start. And it looks as though we're going to see, I don't know, a new first baseman, or is it a new, an odd sort of substitution going on here in the middle of the inning. 2 outs and nobody on.
Nolan Miller moves from first to right.
Nolan Miller goes out to right field. And I think it's Gebhardt, that, remember that odd slide that he engaged in the bottom of the 4th inning. I could tell he was ailing a little bit. He went back out to play and has asked for some help. He comes off the field. So Colton Perez comes out of the dugout for the Drifters to take over at first base. Nolan Miller moves from first base to right field here in the 5th, and let's hope that Aiden's going to be all right. Really bizarre kind of steal of second, where just about 87 feet into the attempt, he stopped suddenly and twisted a knee, it appeared, and then fell down and was able to evade a tag attempt by Diego Cruz and ended up scoring in the inning. But he leaves the game here in the top of the 5th. The pitch missing outside to Zane, ball 2, 2-0. 2-0 pitch, fastball swung on and missed. Jack Klee filling up the zone. Has gone all the way, so he's outlasted one of the highly regarded pitching prospects in America, namely Bryce Hill. Bryce touched 98 tonight. His stuff is as dynamic as ever, but he just wasn't quite able to harness it. Klee, considerably different kind of stuff, is just throwing strikes and comes back to the plate. The 2-1 pitch hit foul off to the left and out of play. And I say that even though he walked consecutive batters in the third. But the Knights certainly helped Clee's cause by running into a couple of outs. And thus, Jack survived 2 walks and 2 hits in the inning, giving up just 1 run. He has a 4-1 lead in the top of the 5th. The 2-2 pitch to Garvey. Off speed and outside. Ball 3, 3-2. Zane has grounded to short and drawn one of those back-to-back walks. Jack Clee comes set, and the right-hander's 3-2 pitch, a ground ball to the right side. Cooper Mullins is right there to field and throw to first. It's a very efficient 1-2-3 inning for Jack Clee. The Knights gone in order, and at the end of 4.5, Springfield 4 and the Knights 1 on the Drifters live stream network.
All kids ages 12 and under receive free general admission to Drifters home games throughout the season, excluding fireworks nights when accompanied by a paid adult. Plus, thanks to our partners at Northwest Natural, Ford Fleet, and Dairy Mart, all kids receive free access to the brand new Drifters Kids Zone found on the third base side. Fans, your attention, please. Now pitching for Corvallis, number 32, Luke Shepard. Leading off the bottom of the 5th inning for the Drifters, the designated hitter, number 32, Johnny Elliott.
4-1 Springfield as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning at Hamlin Sports Complex. Luke Shepler is the new pitcher for the Corvallis Knights, taking over for Jack Galanita with the Drifters up 4-1. Luke ready to go to Johnny Elliott, in the first pitch to the right-hand hitting DH, misses low and inside, ball 1. Luke is coming off his first rough outing as a Corvallis Knight. In his last performance, he has pitched extremely well. The right-hander out of Crescent Valley High School and Linfield delivers, swung on and missed. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Luke is making his 9th appearance this summer, delivers a ground ball to third. Bobbled by Ian Draper, and an error on Ian opens the inning for the Knights on a tough note again, just as last inning opened on an error. And the Drifters went on to score 2 runs. So the 5th begins with a miscue, the Knights' 2nd error, and that brings Nolan Miller to the plate. Luke's earned run average had been very low until his last outing. But he still has pitched well in all outings save his last. His first pitch here is a wild one to the backstop. Johnny Elliott goes down to second base. Nolan Miller at the plate with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. 4-1 Drifters in the bottom of the 5th inning, and an opportunity to get even more. They have a runner at second and nobody out. Luke to the plate, a ground ball to the right side, speared by Ethan Porter. Tosses to Luke covering, but good execution of the game on the Drifters' part. The out recorded 3-1, Johnny Elliott to third. Zach Story, the batter. And the story of the night has been the pitching of Jack Klee out of Chemeketa Community College and Beaverton South Ridge High School. In his second summer with the Drifters, has pitched a gem through 5. He has a chance to get a win, a 4-1 lead. The Drifters looking to add to it. Luke Scheffler will work from the stretch and delivers a first pitch strike. 0-1 the count to Zach Story. Zach has struck out looking twice, once against Bryce Hill, the other against Jack Galanita. The strike one slider swung out and missed, and the count 0-2. Luke is certainly looking for a strikeout here with the infield all pulled in. And the Knights trailing 4-1 with 1 out. Johnny Elliott at third base, aboard on an error. Luke out of the stretch, the strike 2 pitch, breaking ball way outside, ball 1, 1-2. Ethan Porter, Diego Cruz, Joey Morosco, and Ian Draper all in against the right-hand hitting Zach Story out of UC Davis, and the grandson of a legendary player for the Aggies. The pitch to Zach, a high pop-up on the right side. Ethan Porter calls. The first baseman comes all the way down to just a few feet in front of the plate in fair territory and makes the catch. 2 down. Karsten Hansen, aboard on an error to open last inning, will be the batter. The run, if indeed it comes in, if Elliott scores, it's unearned. And Luke trying to put up a 0, keep the Knights in touch in this ball game. Game 1 of 3. Luke to the plate. First pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Karsten Hansen has struck out and been aboard on an error. The Drifters 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth. And have Johnny Elliott at third with 2 down. The strike 1 pitch lifted to center. Kellen Siegel has a play. Moves over a few steps to his right, and he's got the ball. The inning is over. A tough start to the frame with the error at third, but Luke Scheffler pitches around it. No runs, no hits, an error, 1 left. We go to the top of the 6th inning in Springfield. The Drifters 4, the Knights 1 on the Drifters streaming network.
On Sunday. Don't miss out on all. Leading off the top of the 6th inning, the DH, number 28, Ryan Severns.
Top of the 6th inning, 4-1 Drifters. Jack Klee has gone all the way. The right-hander ready, delivers down and away, ball 1, 1-0. Great ball game for Klee. Southridge High School in Beaverton, and pitches into the 6th inning with a 3-run lead. His 1-0 pitch to Ryan Severns a little bit high. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Ryan has singled to left and grounded to short. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Drifters. A run, 4 hits, and 2 errors for the Knights. Klee behind the count to the right-hand hitting Severns, 2-0. Delivers. Fastball up and in. Ball 3. 3-0. The Drifters do have a little bit of movement, some stirring going on in the bullpen. Klee has been tremendous tonight. The Knights' only run coming in the 3rd. However, Klee issues a 4-pitch walk to open the top of the 6th. and Ian Draper
Now
will be the hitter.
Third baseman, number 11, Ian Draper.
Brooke Knight watched, I'm sure, with some bemusement in the third inning when the Knights scored their run. They had a chance to do a lot of damage that inning, but did it on their own, essentially, hurting themselves with running into a couple of outs. So we'll see if that has any kind of effect on what Brooke wants to do in the run game here in the sixth, down 4-1. The first pitch to Ian Draper is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Ian has flied to center and popped to short. 4-1 Drifters, top of the sixth inning. Jack Clee out of the stretch, turns and throws to first. Back to the bag goes Ryan Severns. So really a great outing for Jack Clee tonight. No matter what, if he falters a little bit here again, he has done his job pitching this deep into the game. The right-hander beginning the night at 2-1 with an ERA of 4.81. The strike one pitch just outside to Ian Draper. 1 ball and 1 strike the count in 24 1/3 coming in. He had walked 13 and struck out 17. Teams had managed to hit just 198 against him. 4-1 Springfield, top of the sixth inning. Jack Clee comes set. Severns with a throw over a long hold. I mentioned earlier, talking about the pitcher Clee and a long hold. Pitchers can't do that anymore. They're risking anyway. A pitch clock violation, and that's what's called here by the base umpire, Kyle Sisk. The hold was too long. Now the 2-1 pitch is high, ball 3-1. When I think about El Tiante, he, in going into the stretch position, might have been called for a pitch clock violation just about every time, because it took him, it felt like 10 to 12 seconds just to settle in the gradations in his stretch. Times have changed. The pitch to Draper, a high pop-up in fair territory, halfway up the first baseline. Colton Perez, the new first baseman, comes down the line to make the catch. One away, and Ethan Porter will be the hitter.
Ethan Porter.
Ethan has flied to left and got his first triple as a Corvallis Knight back in the fourth inning. We're in the sixth, 4-1 Springfield. And part of those changing times, thank you, young Ben Crockett. I've had one texter say, what do you call that momentum kind of lead? One texter texted me and said, I know what it's called. It's called stupid. Another texter, young Ben, said, no, it's called, the coaches call it a momentum, a jump lead, trying to gain momentum. A jump lead is sort of the technical term that runners are engaging in more these days. The strike one pitch to Porter hit foul off to the right and out of play. 0-2 the count. So I guess that would be the opener in a conversation. What's your opinion on the utility of, the efficacy of the jump lead? I guess that's the thing. The jump lead is the term. I don't particularly like it, but I can understand it, I guess, intellectually in terms of why people would do it. The strike two fastball to Porter, high and inside. To me, the risk reward is out of proportion. Yes, if you are able to get that jump lead and get momentum instead of just going from a start and trying to steal a base when you're inert and then take off on the pitch, the momentum lead, the jump lead, if you guess it right and time it right, yeah, it's great. But if you don't, we saw what Kellen Siegel, and he's not the only one. I've seen it happen to Travis Bazzana and many other runners. If they don't time it just right, they can be mid-jump and the ball's coming back over to the bag. So you have to pick your spots, and if you don't pick right, you're vulnerable. Now, if you do get, here's a pitch to the backstop, sending Ryan Severns to second. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out, top of the sixth. So I'm not a huge fan of it. The texter who said stupid, I may not be that down on it, but there is some risk involved. The fly ball to straightaway center. Hunter Meyer comes in to make the catch. 2 down in the sixth. Carter Stewart will come to the plate.
Now batting the catcher, number 17, Carter Stewart.
But again, one can, I guess, understand how it has come to be in that if you do time it right, the momentum will carry you quickly into the possibility of an easy steal. But the old-fashioned way still, to me, it worked pretty well for Ricky and Mora and Tyrus. That's going to be it for Jack Klee. He's coming out here in the 6th inning. It is a modest gathering tonight here at Hamlin Sports Complex. But those that are here understand that Klee has pitched a magnificent game. He goes 5 2/3 and leaves here in the top of the 6th inning. A left-handed pitcher is coming in from out of the bullpen for the Springfield Drifters, who are in command in this ballgame. Carter Stewart, a left-handed batter, will deal with the southpaw when we return. The Drifters 4 and the Knights 1 will be back after this pitching change break on the Drifters live stream network.
Fans, your attention, please. Now pitching for the Drifters, number 10, Michael Klein. Now batting the catcher, number
Left-hander Michael Klein comes out of the bullpen to face Carter Stewart in the top of the 6th inning. The Drifters leading 4-1 with 2 outs. Stewart trying to get a clutch 2-out hit for the Knights, whereas Klein summoned to face the left-handed hitter and delivers the first pitch to Carter, who rolls it slowly foul up along first. No balls and 1 strike the count. Michael Klein, a left-hander, making his team-leading 17th appearance. A record of 0-3, an earned run average of 1.80, and the closer. But in the ball game here in the 6th, he has 5 saves. The left-hander strike 1 pitch, a chopper wide of first, fielded by Colton Perez, who will take it to the bag himself. Good job by Klein. The Knights get a leadoff walk, but are not able to parlay it into anything. A tremendous outing for Michael, for the starter Jack Klee, and then gets help from Michael Klein. But Klee goes 5 2/3, allows just 1 run and 4 hits, and has turned it over to the bullpen. The Drifters with a good shot at taking game 1 of this 3-game series. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It remains the Drifters 4 and the Knights 1 on the Knights live stream network.
Leading off the bottom of the sixth inning for the Drifters, the
Bottom of the sixth inning at Hamlin Sports Complex. It's cooling off considerably. We had a mid-80s day up and down the valley. Don't have a temperature right in front of me. I may take a quick look here as Luke Shepler gets ready for his second inning of work. Put up a 0 last inning. Luke goes to work on the left-hand hitting L.J. Lehue, and Lehue takes outside from Luke, ball one. Lehue's been up twice and struck out twice. 4-1 Drifters in the bottom of the sixth inning. The 1-0 pitch, a line drive, base hit to right field. Zane Garvey plays it on a hop, and Aiden Gebhardt, who was in the spot, left. Colton Perez, who's taken over at first base, will get his first look here in the bottom of the sixth. Gebhardt left with what appeared to be a twisted knee, just again by appearances, on an odd base running play during the Drifters' 2-run fourth. Luke to the plate and misses low, ball one, 1-0. I've got to remember now, I think, Brooke, the portal is closed. Colton Perez was in the portal. He began his career at Gonzaga. And trying to see now, let me take a look at, and did he land at Vanguard? Is that where he is? I thought he had gone to Vanguard and was in the portal again, but let me take a look and see. With the left-hand hitting Colton Perez getting his first at-bat tonight, he is at Vanguard. But it says transfer portal Vanguard University. So he out of the portal into Vanguard or still looking for a landing spot? Do you know? I'm going to. Okay, yeah. I'm going to ask just out the press box window if Knight is sitting out there, because this has been a mystery to me since I first began to read online about the young guy. I couldn't tell if it meant he was in the portal and went to Vanguard, or was that Vanguard was in the portal. And I think Knight tried to explain it to me once, and I still don't have full apprehension of where Colton Perez is going to be playing his college baseball in the fall. It's good to have him here with the Drifters. The first baseman awaits the 1-2 pitch, a ground ball to the left of Diego Cruz. Cruz throws the ball by Joey Morosco over to cover it short into left field. And that's an error on Diego on the fielder's choice, his second error. And Lehue safe at second, Colton Perez aboard at first. I'm going to check. So he is still in the portal. The confusion and the mystery for me. Now a bunt, and a bunt foul, and off the flash of Carter Stewart. Carter's going to be all right. Henry De Jesus, though, immediately cringed in empathy when he saw that bunt attempt and foul bunt go off the bat of Hunter Meyer directly into Carter Stewart's hand. Carter, I think, is going to be all right. Carter is walking in front of the plate and looking towards the Knights dugout to give some coverages here. The Knights might have a wheel play on, down 4-1. A base hit to right, an error in fielder's choice. Colton Perez on at first and still in the portal looking for the landing spot. Meyer pulls back and slashes and rips the pitch down the left field line into the corner. L.J. Lehue scores, and stopping at third base, Colton Perez. Into second with a double goes Hunter Meyer. Faking the bunt, pulling back and slashing down the left field line for an RBI two-bagger. And the Drifters having their way with the Knights tonight. They lead it 5-1 in the bottom of the sixth inning. And have runners at second and third and nobody out. Nick Jamino, the hitter. And the Knights will play their infield in. Luke Shepler now tasked to try to just minimize damage here. A run's already come across. First pitch slider just misses. Ball one, 1-0. Jamino has struck out doubled home a run and singled home a run. Good ball game for the Drifters in the opener. And teammates at Crescent Valley High School battling each other right here. Scheffler to Jamino, and the pitch to Nick misses for ball two. These guys came up together through Crescent Valley's program and now battling each other here in the West Coast League. The Springfield Drifters and the Corvallis Knights. Luke delivers down and away. Luke talking to himself a little bit now as he falls behind 3-0. First base is open. Scheffler's 3-0 pitch, a fastball in there for a strike, and the count 3-1. Cooper Mullins on deck. Some activity going on behind Luke in the Knights bullpen in the left field corner. 5-1 Springfield. The 3-1 pitch misses down and in to load him up. Cooper Mullins, the batter, with the bases loaded and nobody out and a run in. 5-1 Drifters. Cooper has struck out, lined out, and grounded out. And here comes Brooke Knight, and there will be a pitching change made here in the bottom of the sixth inning. The Drifters leading 5-1 and have the bases loaded and nobody out and have an opportunity to bust it open here in the sixth. That's it for Luke, a new pitcher coming in. We'll have a pitching change break coming up on the Drifters live stream network.
Fans, your attention, please. Now pitching for Corvallis, number 39, Blake Sebastian.
Back at the Hamlin Sports Complex in Springfield, the Drifters leading the Knights 5-1, and Springfield has the bases loaded and nobody out. Blake Sebastian is summoned out of the Knights bullpen, a record of 2-0, making his 10th appearance this summer. He's worked 14 and 2/3 innings, allowed 16 hits, 14 runs, all earned, 15 walks, 16 strikeouts. The Drifters with a chance to bust this thing, and again, this is a club that's won 5 of their last 6 in this ballpark, and even though the Drifters have struggled this summer, they've been playing good baseball at home and doing so again tonight. The first pitch from Blake Sebastian to Cooper Mullins misses down and in, ball 1, 1-0. The Drifters at 11-22 overall, and the Knights swept Springfield at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field last weekend. The bases loaded, nobody out. The infield in. The Knights can ill afford to fall behind. They're not at double play depth. They want to try to cut a run down at the plate. The pitch to Cooper Mullins, a strike, and the count 1-1. Colton Perez at third, Hunter Meyer at second, Nick Gimino at first, nobody out. The 1-1 pitch from Blake to Cooper Mullins misses down and away. Ball 2, 2-1. Tough night for the Knights here in game one. The road trip back last night, late, very late after a long game coming out of Portland, and they've been a little bit flat here. And now Mullins drives one to left and pretty deep. Back goes Farah, still going back, doesn't get it, and the ball bounces over his head and over the fence for a ground rule double. Jackson Farah kind of going back and didn't really play the ball with enough urgency. The ball just kept drifting and carrying on him, and eventually over his head and bounces up and over the wall. Cooper Mullins, a ground rule double. Colton Perez and Hunter Meyer score. 7-1 Springfield. Nick Gimino to third, Cooper Mullins to second. The infield remains in. Ground ball up the middle into center field for a base hit. Gimino scores. Mullins rounding third on his way to the plate. The throw is cut off, and the Drifters lead at 9-1. The Knights' defense has not, believe me, there's other issues, but in this inning, there should have been an out on Colton Perez's ground ball. The fly ball that carried over Jackson Farah's head for a ground rule double was catchable. It was hit well, but Jackson didn't get the best of reads on it, and the ball carried over his head and bounced over the fence for the ground rule. Johnny Elliott with the two-run single, and now Nolan Miller, the batter, takes a first pitch strike. The Drifters have indeed broken it wide open here in the bottom of the sixth, leading 9-1. Johnny Elliott at first, 0-1 to Nolan Miller. Nolan has walked, had an infield single and grounded out, tried to check his swing on the 0-1 pitch in the turf, and the count 1-1. Johnny Elliott held on by Ethan Porter. 9-1 Springfield in the sixth. Blake Sebastian to the plate. Fastball, a looper into left field. That'll drop for a base hit. The 10th hit of the evening for the Springfield Drifters. Nolan Miller slapping one into left, and Zach Story will come to the plate.
Now batting the third baseman, number 11, Zach Story.
Still nobody out in the inning. So one of those nights for the Corvallis Knights. They don't have many, but they're having one tonight here in Springfield. 9-1 Drifters, 2 on, nobody out. Zach Story takes low, ball 1, 1-0. The Drifters continuing to play well here, and on their way to what appears to be their sixth win in their last 7 games in their home ballpark. From the stretch, the right-hander Sebastian to the plate. A ground ball back of third, a fair ball. Ian Draper steps on third, throws to first, not in time. The Knights get an out on the fielder's choice to third. And that'll bring to the plate Karsten Hansen. Into second base goes Johnny Elliott. What are they calling here? I'm not sure what. It looked like some controversy for a moment. The Knights get one out on the fielder's choice,
Now batting
with
left
Johnny
fielder,
Elliott
26,
forced at third, Nolan Miller into second.
Hansen.
Coach Lyle was saying something that I couldn't quite pick up, but now we play on with runners at first and second and one out. Karsten Hansen, the 9th man to come to the plate in the inning, takes a strike from Blake Sebastian. 9-1 Drifters in the bottom of the 6th inning, 2 on and 1 out. From the stretch, Blake Sebastian, the Knights' 4th pitcher of the evening, delivers way inside. And that evens the count at 1-1. the Knights and Drifters the next 2 days here in Springfield. An off night on Monday. Gunderson Baseball Academy at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on Tuesday. The pitch is sliced foul down the left field line off the bat of Karsten Hansen. 1-2 the count.
Protect your home team with American Family Insurance.
The All-Star game next Wednesday night in Victoria, British Columbia. 1-2 the count. 9-1 Drifters in the bottom of the sixth. The right-hander Blake Sebastian from the stretch. With 2 on and 1 out. 5 runs across in the inning. Blake sails his fastball up and away. Ball 2, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 on. With just 1 away, Sebastian delivers, swung on, foul tipped, and held by Carter Stewart. Strike 3. 2 down, and the guy that got it started, L.J. Lehue, with a base hit to right field and scored the first of the 5 runs in the inning, comes to the plate now for the Drifters. L.J. 1 for 3. Blake Sebastian with 2 on and 2 out, comes set, delivers, and misses down and in. Ball 1, 1-0. Nolan Miller at third, Zach Story at first. Sebastian following Luke Shepler, Jack Galanita, and Bryce Hill. The 1-0 pitch to the backstop. A wild pitch uncorked by Blake Sebastian. Nolan Miller into third with Zach Story down to second. And a base hit here would add 2 more. Indeed, the Knights have been reeling since the initial 1-0 lead in an inning where it felt like the Knights should have had more. And settled for 1, haven't scored since, while the Drifters came up with 2 in the bottom of the third, 2 in the fourth, 5 here in the sixth. The pitch missing to L.J. Lehue down and in. Ball 3, 3-0. Colton Perez on deck. The 3-0 pitch from Sebastian down the middle for a strike, and the count 3-1. Blake Sebastian has had he's been a little up and down this summer, trying to get back to a nice groove. Delivers to Lehue, a fly ball to right field. Zane Garvey moves in to make the catch, and that's that. But that was plenty for the Springfield Drifters. They score 5 runs in the inning and break the game open. Knight Jarecki will take you the rest of the way as we go to the 7th inning. Through 6, the Drifters 9, the Knights 1. Knight coming back up after this on the Knights Drifters live stream network. Yeah, thank you.
Whoever hits the most is going home a winner. If it's a tie, we go to rock, paper, scissors. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? In 3, 2, 1, go! And they both play contact with the first run. It's 1-1. The first 2, okay. 2-2. It's neck and neck. 3 to 3. It's a close race, guys. Let's hear it for these guys. They're still 3-4. Usually comes down to 5 to go to tiebreaker. They've got it. All right, drop the bats. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And it's going to be Colton taking it home. Let's hear it for these guys. Yeah, that must be what happened. Enjoy the rest of the game, Drifters fans.
Leading off the top of the 7th inning for Corvallis, number 23, the left fielder, Jackson Farah.
Michael Klein on the mound as the first pitch from the left-hander is in for a strike. 0-1. 9-1 the score here in the top of the 7th inning. Special thanks to Mike Parker for doing the middle innings here in Springfield. Always a joy to have him come on and do the middle innings here and give me a little bit of a break as Klein gets a swing and a miss by Jackson Farah. 0-2. Actually kind of fun for me to actually go down and walk around the concourse, get to intermingle with some fans. Just a grand old time. 0-2 pitch from Klein. It's popped up out toward shallow right field. Charging in is actually Hunter Meyer, the center fielder, who calls off Nolan Miller to make the catch for out number 1. So it brings up Kellen Siegel, who had a single back in the 3rd, a ground out in the 4th. 3rd time up to the plate. Facing off against Michael Klein, the all-star for the Springfield Drifters, the only all-star on the Springfield Drifters. Second pitcher in as Jack Klee had a phenomenal day on the mound. A swing and a miss by Siegel, 0-1. Klee, 5 2/3 innings pitch with just 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, and a strikeout. Good stuff from Klee, who outdueled Bryce Hill, a top 150 prospect in the MLB draft. Swing and a miss by Siegel, and Klein gets ahead 0-2. An early appearance for Michael Klein, who has consistently been a closer this season for Springfield. But they're giving him the run. The Drifters lead 9-1. Looking to close this one out maybe, and maybe put some zeros on the board. Also have Drew Miller in the arsenal, a closer at George Fox. Would love the opportunity to maybe close against the Corvallis Knights with several of his teammates at George Fox playing for the Knights this summer. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Klein. Popped up out towards center field, pretty deep. Meyer back towards the track. Makes the catch as he slams into the wall. Good play by Meyer. Quite the range in center field. Back-to-back flyouts to center. 2 away here in the top of the 7th. Brings up Diego Cruz, who has had a tough day defensively. Although he singled and then stole a couple of bases and scored back in the 3rd, he grounded out in the 5th, and he has 3 errors defensively. All 3 errors today for the Corvallis Knights. Responsible to the second baseman at the plate here in Cruz. First pitch from Klein. It's above the letters. 1 ball and no strikes. So Klein today wearing the red cleats. I asked him yesterday, how many cleats do you have? And he said, I have 4. And I love to wear the red ones with these uniforms, the pinstripe uniforms, because they match the red numbers on front. Cruz rips the ball down the right field line and goes foul. 1-1. So he decides what cleats to wear based on the uniform, which I got to respect because that's how a lot of people wear their shoes. They wear their shoes based on their uniform. Same with Jeff Lyle, the head coach of the Springfield Drifters. He matches his shoes with the uniforms they're wearing. 1-1 popped out of play towards the 3rd base side, 1-2. Again, foul balls this season brought to you by Monica Smith Agencies, American Family Insurance, protecting you from life's unexpected hits. So 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. 9-1, Springfield with the lead. Pitch from Klein. Breaking ball, whacked out towards center field for a base hit. So Cruz keeps the inning alive for Corvallis. Springfield leads by 8. It was 2 runs in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, and 5 in the 6th inning for Springfield. To go up by 8 runs, Corvallis just 1 run in the top of the 3rd. Well, the bad news for the Drifters is that, well, Diego Cruz has a single to keep the inning alive. The good news, though, is that the fans' attendants have one last opportunity at getting half off Coors Light with today's Dry Pro beer batter, Joey Morasco, coming to the plate. First pitch, he swings and misses, 0-1. Klein came in last inning in the 6th and got the final out. It was a ground out to first base. Klein, top 5 in the WCL this season in strikeouts. No strikeouts so far. Let's see if he can get one here to the beer batter and Morasco. The Southpaw's 0-1. Bunt shown, pulled back, and the pitch misses, low and away, 1-1. So 9-1, Springfield with the lead. Morasco Hitless today. A ground out to third, a walk, and a ground out to the pitcher. 1-1. Maybe just a hair low. 2 balls and a strike. Defensively, Nolan Miller out in right field, Hunter Meyer in center, and Kirsten Hansen out in left. Zach Story, Nick Chimino, Cooper Mullins, and Colton Perez from the left to right on the infield. 2-1 is fouled back, 2 balls and 2 strikes. J. Lehue behind the plate catching. Aiden Gebhardt came out of the game. He was the starting right fielder today for Springfield. It looked like he got a little bit banged up trying to steal second base. Still 2 bases today, though, so up to now second in the WCL with 18 steals this season. 12 away from the record. Hopefully he's okay and can steal more bases this season and get close to that record. The 2-2 pitch just misses. Looked like he might have painted it on the upper outer corner. Instead, the count goes full to Marasco, the beer batter. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. The runner at first. Klein set. Payoff pitch. Foul back. Marasco stays alive. Springfield has not won at home against Corvallis since the inaugural season back in 2022. The Drifters started 2-0 against the Knights at this ballpark, and since that point, they're 0-10 since. An opportunity to win here today against Corvallis. Payoff pitch. Foul back. Marasco stays live. So a couple of foul offs with 2 strikes. Klein looking for his first punch out. The WCL All-Star from Fresno, California. Heading back to Rogers State next season after transferring from Fresno City College. Spending this past season in Oklahoma. Payoff pitch. Popped up out towards foul territory on the first base side. Colton Perez makes the catch, and the inning is over. 1 hit, 1 runner left stranded, no runs and no errors. Time to stretch in Springfield. It's 9-1 here on the Drifters Streaming Network.
Fans, get on your feet. It's about that time. It's the 7th inning stretch. Fans, the 7th inning stretch also means it's time for last call. Concessions will be closing at the end of the 7th inning. Also, kids, be sure to stay after the game to get autographs from the Drifters themselves and run the bases. Leading off for the Drifters, the first baseman, number 28, Colton Perez.
Trey Swinger, the new pitcher on the mound for the Corvallis Knights, as his first pitch misses the zone. Second pitch now to Colton Perez is hit out towards center field, and making the catch is Joey Marasco, the shortstop, for out number 1. So it's the birthday boy. Happy 21st birthday to Trey Swinger into the game as he retires Colton Perez for the first out here on the bottom of the 7th. 9-1 the score. It's Springfield with the lead. And the top of the order back up for the Drifters, Hunter Meyer, and now Nick Gimino on deck. 1 out with Swiger on the bump. The right-hander from the University of Portland misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. So Luke Schaffler, 1 inning pitch with 2 hits, 4 runs given up, 3 earned runs with a walk and no strikeouts. Pitch in for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike to Hunter Meyer. So now Blake Sebastian, his day is done after 1 inning pitch. The 1-1 pitch from Swiger misses, now 2-1. 3 hits given up with 1 run given up. No walks and 1 strikeout. So now the 5th pitcher of the game is Hunter Meyer. Slices it out towards first base on 1 hop. A bang-bang play at first, but Porter is able to underhand it over to Trey Swiger for out number 2. So Swiger, the right-hander from the University of Portland, a 2-way player. Excited to see him here. He's one of my favorite players in the WCL. Had the opportunity to call some Portland Pilots games in the spring on ESPN Plus, and Swiger stood out to me as one of the best players on that Portland team, and I've followed him since, and I'm excited to see him back here in the WCL after he spent last season with the Corvallis Knights. His first pitch to Nick Gimino misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes. It's been a big game for Gimino, a Corvallis native, who takes the 1-0 pitch for a strike, 1-1. Struck out looking his first time up since that point, an RBI double in the 3rd, an RBI single in the 4th, and a walk and a run scored last inning in the 6th. The 1-1 pitch from Swiger is bounced off the foot of Gimino. Foul. 1-2. So Swiger from Middleton, Idaho, appearing out of the bullpen for the 4th time this season. His 1-2 is fouled back. Picked up a save against Springfield. Has 2 saves this season. The Knights come in with the 2nd most saves in the WCL with 9 on the year. And Swiger's been one of the back-end guys. There's 1-2. Gimino goes down swinging. It's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Trey on his birthday. As the Drifters go down in order, and we'll head to the 8th still with an 8-run lead for Springfield here on the Drifters Streaming Network.
All season long by following us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Drifters Speedball. If you can't make it out to the park but don't want to miss the Drifters in action, you can also follow us on YouTube. All you've got to do is go to YouTube, search for Drifters Baseball, subscribe to the Drifters Baseball channel, and you can live stream every single Drifters home game. Leading off the top of the 8th inning for Corvallis, the right fielder number 6, Zane Garvey.
Zane Garvey to lead things off here in the top of the 8th inning. 9-1, Springfield with the lead. Michael Klein still on the bump as the left-hander wheels and deals. His first pitch is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Batters 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Corvallis Knights here in this 9-1 ball game for Springfield. Looking for their first win against Corvallis here at home since 2022. 1-0 pitch from Klein is outside. Now 2 balls and no strikes. Klein came in with 2 outs in the 6th inning for Jack Lee and has only allowed 1 single so far. If he finishes the final 2 frames, he'd be in line for a save. It would be his 6th of the season. Long ways to go. The 2-0 pitch is outside. 3 balls and no strikes. He's gone 3 1/3 once this season. That was a season high for him. But typically, it may be a 1 or 2 inning guy. But as an early appearance here against Corvallis, the 3-0. In for a strike, 3-1. Drifters coming off back-to-back wins against the Walla Walla Sweets the past 2 days. Looking for their 3rd straight win of the week. They need some wins in the second half of the season if they want to make the postseason. Why not start today? 3-1 is inside, and Garvey has a walk. Second walk today by Garvey.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 28.
And it brings up Ryan Severns, the designated hitter. Severns is single back in the 1st, a ground out in the 3rd, and then walk in the 6th. So he's reached base safely, 2 of his 3 plate appearances. Has a runner at 1st, nobody out, in a 9-1 ball game. Sun beginning to set. It's been a long game so far. Just about 2.5 hours. Klein's first pitch is in for a strike to Severance, 0-1. Springfield had a long game yesterday against Walla Walla. After a couple of quick ones to begin the week. Klein's 0-1. Popped out of play, out towards the 3rd base side, 0-2. I got to say, it was pretty fun getting to walk around and talk to some folks while Mike was calling the middle innings. Rarely do I get to be on the concourse, but got some kiddos from the South Eugene Babe Ruth that wanted to write in my scorebook. So they wrote their names. I got all of their autographs. Special thanks to Ozzy, Ben, and Owie. 0-2, swing and a miss. Klein has a strikeout. That's his first of the game. Puts the first out on the board here in the top of the 8th.
The 3rd baseman, number 11, Ian Draper.
So it brings up Ian Draper, who's hitless so far, 0 for 3. A fly out to center field, a pop-up to short, and a pop-up to first base. Lions' first pitch is rocketed to left field. It's a base hit for Draper, and 2 men are aboard for Corvallis here in the top of the 8th inning. 9-1, Springfield still leading, but the Knights looking for a late comeback. Brings up Ethan Porter. 2 flyouts and a triple so far for Porter. The Knights come in with the 2nd most triples in the league behind Walla Walla. At the 11th of the season for Corvallis. Walla Walla, over 13. So 2 on and 1 out for Porter, the Oregon State product. First pitch, in for a strike, 0-1. Porter had the big day at the plate a week ago for the Knights in that 16-5 win against Springfield on the Saturday. 7 total RBIs. The 0-1. Jammed up and found back, 0-2. Porter originally from Huntington Beach, California. In that game against the Drifters on the 4th of July, 4 for 4 with those 7 RBIs. He had a double in 5 straight games in the month of June. He's had a pretty good season with Corvallis so far after 23 starts as a freshman at Oregon State. 0-2, ground ball to 3rd. Scooped by Story. He barehands it after bobbling it. The throw to 2nd in time. The throw to 1st, not in time. As Draper's retired at 2nd. Garvey advances to 3rd, and now runners on the corners after the fielder's choice play. A really good play by Story, who kind of had a tough pick off the turf as he scooped it up and then in midair barehanded it and then fired over the second base bag. I'm honestly impressed. He was able to get the lead runner at second. But now runners on the corners. 2 outs in a 9-1 ball game. Corvallis looking to make a dent in the Drifters' lead. And now Carter Stewart to the plate. He's hitless. A strikeout and 2 groundouts. First pitch from Klein in this lefty versus lefty battle is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Klein looking for another goose egg on the board. Corvallis just 1 run. It came in the third, and it was on a wild pitch. 1-0 is popped in the air out towards the third base side. Foul territory. Giving chase his Story, and he watches it sail out of play. That was it for Corvallis, just that wild pitch run in the third. They've had base runners throughout the game. Just no runs to show for it, other than that one in the third. With a walk and a wild pitch on the same at-bat and same pitch. 1-1, down and away. 2 balls and a strike. An offensive explosion for Springfield. This has been a rare game for the Drifters in which the offense and defense plus pitching has all come together. Drifters do have a pretty solid defense. 4th in the league in total fielding percentage. 4th fewest errors. It's been the one consistent this season. 2-1, fouled away, 2-2. And that's what head coach Jeff Lyle talked about earlier this week. He said, we don't know how the pitching is going to be on a night-to-night basis. We don't know how the offense is going to be on a night-to-night basis, but we do know that we're going to have a pretty good defense behind us every step of the way. They have a pretty good pitcher on the mound as well in Michael Klein. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and 2 on. Pitch, breaking ball, fouled away. Stewart just got a piece of it. Klein slowed it down to 73 and dropped it in. But a good piece of hitting by Stewart to stay alive. L.J. Lehew's younger brother Colt in attendance. The bat boy once again was L.J.'s bat boy when L.J. was in high school. And then now the two reunited again here in the West Coast League. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch from Klein. Fastball called, strike 3. Another scoreless inning for Michael Klein as the Drifters lead 9-1 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning after 2 are left stranded on 1 hit in the inning and no errors defensively. 8-run lead for Springfield, looking for extra insurance on the other half this break on the Drifters Streaming Network and on Joe Radio.
Baseball camp on July 14th and 15th. Open to ages 8 through 14, campers will learn hitting, fielding, throwing, base running, and more from Drifters coaches and players. Don't miss out on this opportunity to develop your skills, have fun, and train like a Drifter this summer. For more information and to register today, visit driftersbaseball.com. Fans, your attention, please. Will Ozzie McDougal please go to your family seats? Ozzie McDougal, please go back to your family seats. Thank you. Leading off the bottom of the 8th inning for the Drifters, the second baseman, number 4, Cooper Mullins.
First pitch to Cooper Mullins is fouled away. No balls and a strike. The second pitch from Trey Swigert. A fastball in for a strike, going 2. So the Drifters leading by 8 runs, 9-1 the score here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Cooper Mullins looking to start a rally, maybe for extra insurance, as Swigert misses down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mullins, Johnny Elliott, and Nolan Miller due up for the Drifters. The pitch from Swigert outside, 2-2. Mullins hit a ground rule, 2 RBI double his last time up back in the 6th inning. Hit into a double play in the 4th, a strikeout in the 3rd, and a line out in the 1st. Now slices the ball out towards left center field. It's going to get down into the alley and roll all the way to the wall. Mullins at second. He's making a turn for 3rd and now decides to retreat back towards second after an aggressive lead past the second base bag. So another double for Cooper Mullins. Another sliding play by Colt Lehue, who has loved just sliding, grabbing the bat, and then running back to the dugout. I feel like he's done it every single time. Makes it entertaining. He's having fun as the bat boy. And why wouldn't you? So here's Johnny Elliott, a chance for another RBI. Had a couple of RBIs his last time up. Runner at second, and Cooper Mullins in a 9-1 ball game. Swigert to the plate, a first pitch fastball for a strike, going 1. Drifters now with 11 hits today. 9 runs on 11 hits. They've been helped out by 3 Corvallis errors. The 0-1. Cut on and miss. 0-2. I'm sure this feels pretty good for head coach Jeff Lyle and the Drifters after that tough loss last Saturday on the 4th of July. Losing 16-5, feeling helpless. The 0-2, a little bit low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a chance to win 3 straight games. It'd be the second time in the past 2 weeks the Drifters would win 3 in a row. The 1-2, Elliott out towards right field for a base hit. Mullins was waiting to see if it was going to be caught by Cruz, but he was playing closer to the second base bag. And so that ball found its way into right field, and Mullins will just stop at 3rd. So a double and a single put runners on the corner for Springfield here in the bottom of the 8th inning, 9-1 the score. I think at this point, Corvallis is content letting Trey Swigert finish this inning. Nobody in the bullpen for the Knights in a 9-1 ball game. So here's Nolan Miller. Couple of singles and RBI today. Fouls away the first pitch to him, 0-1. This is a fun little matchup, Swigert versus Miller. 2 of them teammates at the University of Portland, and the Bluff boys are battling here. No balls and a strike. The pitch from Swigert. Ground ball to the left side. Scooped at 3rd by Draper. He goes to 2 for 1. The throw to first base. A double play. But Mullins is in to score, and the lead is now 9. It's 10-1. A productive double play. I think each team would be content with that. Springfield gets an extra insurance run. Corvallis gets 2 outs on the board. And now nobody on for Zach Story. And a 10-1 ball game. First pitch. Story takes a pitch for a strike, going 1. Looked like the slider that time from Swigert. There's no balls and a strike. Trey had a big game earlier this year against LMU in which he had a couple of home runs and then also had 3 innings of shutout baseball with 7 strikeouts for Portland. Really displayed what he could do as a 2-way player. Today, not a start in the field, but comes in as a bullpen pitcher. 0-2 pitch, called strike 3. As Swigert paints the low inside corner on a nice cutter for the final out. Well, the Drifters get 2 hits. None are left stranded with 1 run coming in and no errors defensively. We go to the 9th, 10-1 the score. Springfield looking to close it out here on the Drifters Streaming Network.
Knights, pinch hitting for Corvallis, number 10, Tate Hammond.
Michael Klein returns and is looking for the save as the Drifters lead 10-1 in the top of the ninth inning. First pitch to Tate Hammond, a pinch hitter, is caught on and missed. 0-1 in this lefty versus lefty battle. Hammond comes into the game for Jackson Farrah. Kellen Siegel is going to be pinch hit for it. Looks like another pinch hitter coming up for Corvallis as Berkeley Rentz is on deck. The 0-1 pitch from Klein is down and away, 1-1. And then Diego Cruz is in the hole, but we'll see if the Knights are going to pinch hit for him as well. Klein looking for a save after entering the game in the sixth inning. Swing and a miss by Hammond. 1-2. Tate Hammond at the plate. Left-handed hitter heading off to UCLA, originally from Long Beach, California. The 1-2, it's fouled off by Hammond, and we'll do it again. Hammond, a graduate of Long Beach Poly High School. Prestigious high school out in Long Beach. A lot of notable alumni. Getting to stay in Southern California. Comes in with a 128 batting average. This is the 18th game of the season for him. The 1-2. Foul tipped into the middle. Lehue. Another strikeout for Klein. His third. One away.
Fans, your attention, please. Pinch hitting for Kellen Siegel.
So, Berkeley Rentz will come in.
Rentz.
Kellen Siegel, he was 1 for 3 before being pinch hit for. And now Rentz to the plate. Started the season with Corvallis, and then has played in 2 games since June 13th after not appearing in the middle portion of the season. He swings at the first pitch, skies it out towards foul territory. A sliding play by Michael Klein, but he can't catch up to it. You know, he was an outfielder during his freshman season at Fresno City College, and it looked like he wanted that one. I've not seen a pitcher just sprint from the mound all the way towards the dugout. It did drop in foul territory, just a little bit in front of him. Maybe if he lays out head first, he could have a better shot. But instead, he went for the slide, the safer play. Don't want him getting hurt. Snowballs and a strike to Rentz. Young man from Wilsonville out of George Fox. The 0-1. Fastball down low and inside. 1 ball and a strike. Klein takes a breath out of the windup. His 1-1 pitch. Lifted out towards right field. Foul territory. Colton Perez makes the catch. Heck of a play for the first baseman, who didn't even shift his shoulders, just ran straight back and was able to backhand it over his head.
Now pinch hitting for Diego Cruz. Number 30.
So another pinch hitter coming up for Corvallis.
Silver.
As it looks like Ari Silva is going to come to the plate, a freshman from LMU. Two-way player. First pitch, fouled back, 0-1. Silva from Sacramento, California, a McClatchy High School graduate. Gets an AB with 2 outs. Although he's listed on the roster as a left-handed pitcher, maybe this is his first at-bat of the season as he skies it out towards left field into the corner, and making the catch is Karsten Hansen. For the first time since 2022, the Drifters win at home against Corvallis, and Springfield has won 3 in a row. Nick Jamino is today's Drifter Player of the Game, the Corvallis native, getting it done against the Knights as Springfield wins by 9 for the Game 1 victory. Well, that was fun. Special thanks to Mike Parker for joining us on the broadcast today. I'm Knight Jarecki. Ethan Klein will take you the rest of the way with the post-game show as the Drifters win 10-1. We'll see you tomorrow, and as always, stay drifty.
Phil, yeah, our holiday spirit tomorrow to the ballpark for Rapid's birthday and the bobblehead giveaway. Don't forget to grab your tickets before they're gone. Please drive home safely. Have a great rest of your night. And as always, stay drifty, my friends.
So the Drifters get the first win here at Hamlin Sports Complex against the Corvallis Knights since June of 2022. That first series the Drifters ever played here against Corvallis. They took the first 2 games of that series and then proceeded to lose 10 straight over the last couple of years to Corvallis here in Springfield. And they finally get back into the win column in this series today. They take game 1 of this 3-game homestand and have won 3 straight, 6 of the last 7 here at Hamlin. The Drifters are hot, and we'll see if it continues tomorrow night, but we'll talk about the game today first. It was really clicking on both sides for Springfield today. It was the Knights who struck first. In the top of the third, they scored 1 in an inning where it really felt like they could have scored more. They left a lot on the table. There was a pickoff at first, and then a runner got stuck in a pickle over between second and third trying to take off, and Jarecki stepped off the mound and was able to take 2 runners off the base paths to get 2 outs in that inning in a spot where he could have given up a lot more runs. And so he had a wonderful game today. We'll talk about him real quick. Jarecki goes 5 2/3 innings, gets himself the win here today. He gives up 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 1 strikeout, faced 23 batters, and again gets himself the win. And then the Drifters would strike back in the bottom of the third and go on a 10 unanswered run streak to come away with a 10-1 win. But after Jarecki came out of the game, it was Michael Klein getting himself his 6th save of the season. And he went 3 1/3 innings for it. Ties his season high for innings pitched. He went 3 1/3. He only gave up 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. A great game from Michael Klein, a player who we all love, the lone all-star for the Springfield Drifters this season. But it wasn't just the pitching that was clicking for Springfield today. It was Aiden Gebhardt, who ended up coming out of the game due to what appeared to be a leg injury or a hip injury. He stumbled, and there was something happened when he was trying to steal second and was kind of banged up after it. Stayed in the game for a little bit, but then came out. Nolan Miller moved out to right field. Colton Perez came out to replace Nolan Miller at first base. But before he left the game, he went 1 for 1 with a walk and 2 runs scored and a couple of stolen bases as well. He's now second in the WCL in steals with 18 on the season, only 12 away from the Drifters' franchise record for a single season. that was set by Jack Brooks just a year ago with 30. Hunter Meyer also had a great day, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and a double. He walked once as well. Nick Jamino, our player of the game here today, went 2 for 4 with a run scored, 2 RBIs, a double, and a walk as well. Identical stat line nearly to Hunter Meyer. And then Johnny Elliott went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a walk as well. Nolan Miller also 2 for 4 with an RBI and a walk. Cooper Mullins also had a great day. He started really slow. He started out 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a line out, and a ground out before coming back and getting a couple of base knocks in his last 2 at-bats of the game. He ended the game 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, 2 doubles on the day. LJ Lehue, the catcher today for the Drifters, went 1 for 4 with a run scored. Zach Story, the only Drifter not to get on base at least once today, went 0 for 5 with a few strikeouts. And then Karsten Hansen went 0 for 4, but he did get on base by way of the error, ended up scoring a run. Colton Perez also 0 for 2, got on base by, I believe it was a fielder's choice, and scored a run as well. So the Drifters' bats were hot today, and the pitching was great as well. One of the rare days this summer where we've seen the pitching and the hitting both clicking at the same time, and we saw what the result can be. This Drifters team, arguably the most talented Drifters team we've had in franchise history, if not in at least in recent years. And it just hasn't quite been clicking. It's been a lot of close losses. It's been inconsistent, only one side of the ball clicking on a day-to-day basis, whether that be the pitching or the hitting doing well on any given day. But today it was both, and the Drifters get their first win against the Knights since 2022. We've got 2 games left in this series. Tomorrow is Rapid's birthday and Rapid bobblehead night. 500 Rapid bobbleheads are going to be given out at tomorrow's game to the first 500 fans in attendance. So be sure to get out to the stadium to get yourself a bobblehead. And it'll be 6:35 first pitch for that one. We'll be on air at right around 6:15. Ethan Klein, happy to be taking you through this post-game show. And it's really just been great energy at the ballpark. Monty Tenney, our on-field MC, getting jump around going, getting the crowd jumping in the 9th inning, just really doing a great job. Got to give props to Monty. He's been doing an incredible job of getting the crowd hyped and keeping the crowd energized all season long. So he's doing a great job. Big shout out to him. Thanks to Mike Parker also for coming on to do the middle innings. It was great to sit in the booth with him for the first time. I met him for the first time today, and him and Knight do things very differently. Knight very digital, more modern with the way he does his things. Mike Parker, very old school, likes to have the hard paper here. It's cool to see different broadcasters doing things their own way, but nonetheless, we'll be back tomorrow at 6:15 on air. It'll be Addison Cerezo and Henry Light for the pregame show before Knight and Mike Parker will take us through the action, and I'll be back for the postgame show tomorrow. But Ethan Klein going to be signing off for now. And I'll see you guys again after the game tomorrow. Hopefully the Drifters can get the series win. If not, it'll be a rubber match on Sunday. But for now, good night from Hamlin Sports Complex on the Drifters Streaming Network.